Welcome to the next dimension in entertainment. Coming to you live from the offices of Chapter One Films in Charlotte, North Carolina, this is the 4D Podcast with your hosts, Greg Prinz, Nathanael Levinson, and Marko Brutus. Sit back and enjoy a deep dive into film. This is the 4D Podcast.
Him somehow. He left
what,
the show.
Muscles? Oh, Liam.
Liam. I said I'm doing my best Liam impression. Just, which is ironic because he is the shrimpiest out of the three of us.
Here's my Liam impression. Nosferatu was a good movie. So was Old Boy. Yeah, guys, you guys just don't understand cinema. Old Boy was it was just like 10 out of 10.
There's worse offenders than Nosferatu. I feel like we all had pretty similar thoughts.
That was the first
Nosferatu.
one that came to mind, but Old Boy's the one where I was like, no, brother.
Old Boy.
It was probably the one where we were on like the most polar opposites. That one.
For sure. Yeah, there were definitely a ton of Liam takes. If I'm sitting here trying to
That
think
was the
of,
one. That one in particular we didn't enjoy it at all, and he loved it.
I feel like there were a lot of Disney movies that were like that.
There were some Disney movies that were like that, but Old Boy was the one where we was like, how do you even justify?
Right. Yeah, it's true. All right. Hey, guys, we are back. We're back. It is officially episode 1, season 4. We made
episode
it.
5-1. No, episode
4-1. There you go.
4-1, yeah.
Or 4.1.
Episode 44 in total, if anybody was interested.
S4E1.
We're happy you're here. If you are watching along and you're like, hey, I can't comment and be a part of the show,
it's because you're an idiot and we don't want you commenting.
False. We want you to comment. We want you to subscribe first because you can't comment unless you're subscribed to the channel. So help us out. Hit that little bell. Helps the algorithm. Do it for us so that we can get yelled at when we make short videos.
So I showed my older sister because we were driving and we were just chatting, and I mentioned the short that had it's got like 75,000 views on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you got to read these comments. She's reading the comments, nodding, thinking, and then she scrolls down. And she's like, "Gay take." I'm like, I forgot about that one.
Hopefully she didn't see that I liked it.
That's hilarious.
Gay take. I was like, that was well thought out. Gay take. I was like, you sir win.
I did think I had thought through that. Really made a good argument, but you got me. It's gay take.
I literally talk for like a minute and a half, and
absolutely taken down.
Wrong.
Savage, brutal,
so please subscribe so you can join along with us. We're going to be talking about a couple movies today as we start our new series on...
And he's using a couple in the correct sense in that we're talking about 2 movies today.
Yes, 2 movies that came out on this day. Today, actually, on
August
12th.
On August 12th. In history, these 2 movies came out, and the movies are Four Brothers and Hell or High Water. We watched them both.
It is kind of funny. We got 2 movies that are both about
brothers
who do shady things.
Oh, brother.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
This guy stinks. We got Marko Brutus on the sticks today, ladies and gentlemen. Say hi to Marko. We have Nathanael and myself, as always, center stage. And we are going to get into talking about these movies. So... Marko, what are the people expecting right now?
Well, see, here's how this is going to work. The first bit...
before you jump into bits, we get Marko on, and his very first show, he's like, okay, you guys need to cut the wacky shit out. We're going to have an organization, details.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what are you talking about? We just get up here and talk. He's like, no. It's not good enough anymore.
Yeah,
we expect better.
That's not how this is going to work anymore. So first thing we're going to do...
Jakob has sent Brutus from on... has sent Marko from on high
he really
to whip us into shape.
Yeah, I'm here to make sure everything stays on track, make sure that you guys aren't a bunch of idiots.
That's
well,
right.
I mean, I don't think there's much you can do about that. It's a lost
or
cause.
at least keep it to a minimum.
There you go.
The idiocracy will be.
So here's how this first bit's going to work. We're going to talk about Four Brothers first. Mm-hmm. And which one of you 2 want to be the first
synopsis?
To give that synopsis?
I will give the synopsis.
Nathanael will do the synopsis of Four Brothers.
So prior to the episode, I asked ChatGPT to give me a random number between 10 and 60.
And it said 32,000.
False.
It's bad.
False. 10 and 60. 10 seconds and 60 seconds.
Yes.
So it's giving me a random number. That random number, in this particular case, was 43.
Oh, that's
which is a
solid.
really good one, to be fair.
That's wait. Give me the other one. If there's the other one, smaller,
no.
I don't need 43 seconds.
He's gonna do the other one, and it's gonna be a different number. But the first one is 43 seconds. Okay. So now,
do I have to use all 43 seconds?
Come as close as you can. I'm gonna have the
Nathaniel,
numbers.
if you can finish before 43 seconds,
I
my
would be
friend,
shocked.
do it.
No, I can do this in under 10.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
All right.
Wait,
so
hold
here's-
on.
wait, hold on.
The clock.
So let's say. So again, it's a synopsis of the movie, under 43 seconds, and the time starts now.
4 adopted brothers get revenge on the gangster who killed their mom. Done.
Wow.
That is the movie. That is the movie.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. You forgot. Hey, yo, it's me,
It's
Marky
Marky
Mark.
Mark. I didn't forget it.
Hey,
but
look at me in my underwear.
I was thinking about it. Well, I was thinking about it on the way over. I was like, I can summarize 4 brothers in one sentence. It's not a complicated movie.
It's really not.
Obviously, there's more to it. Like, if you're watching the movie, there's more things that happen.
Sure.
But in a nutshell, it's not a complicated movie.
No.
Honestly, the other one isn't that much more complicated, but
the other
Four
one
Brothers
has
was-
a lot
it-
more depth to
Oh,
to
way
that.
it's got
more
more.
depth.
No. The other one has
as far as a
as far as like a synopsis
you're right.
goes.
You're right. Yeah.
And
Pretty
but,
simple.
But this one was like, it's literally just 4 adopted brothers get revenge on the guy who killed their mom. That's it.
So what are our initial thoughts? Marco, we'll start with you.
Yeah.
The initial thoughts on Four Brothers.
4 brothers. All right. So my initial thought was, it was okay. It was a decent movie.
I mean, it's
It was quote unquote
alright.
fun.
yeah, sure.
That makes it sound like you didn't actually have fun. The way you phrased that makes it sound like you did. You
The thing is-
personally didn't have fun.
It was a good movie. It was a popcorn watch.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
there was way too many. If you really want to get down into the depths of the
Which is what we're here
details,
to do.
there was a lot of plot holes, and there was a lot of weird things that were
Yeah,
happening
I
during the
agree.
movie that just did
were a lot
not
of
make
weird
sense for real life.
I agree.
But it was a fun movie.
fun movie.
It was action packed as it was,
Charming
and whatnot. It was
characters.
charming.
Yeah.
The plot behind it was really really well done. I thought that the mom being this like amazing mother and whatnot was such
Sure.
a good add on to the movie. It was a good reason to go after them and after these people and whatnot. So it was good in that sense. But it was like a subpar general movie.
Yeah.
So I think it was a fun movie. That's the best way to say it.
All right, Nathaniel.
I think I would generally agree with that take. I think it was a fun movie. It was a good movie. It wasn't a great movie. I had a lot of issues with it. It was one of those movies where at the end of it, I was like, is there a message I'm supposed to take away from this?
We'll eventually get around
We'll
to
get to
that.
that. But I'm like, I don't think what the movie's telling me is actually good. I loved that the chemistry between them 4 was great.
Yeah.
And the mom was great.
Yeah.
And then everything else was just kind of there.
Yeah.
And the villain was like, who is this guy?
It felt like, so for me, same boat as you guys. It was fine. Like if I went and saw that movie now, I don't think I would come out of the movie being like, I've just wasted my, like so many of the ones we've seen recently.
Yes, no,
we
I
literally
wouldn't
are
put it in that.
angry leaving the theater. There would have been none of that. I would have been like, yeah, it was fine. I don't think there would be any cause in me to be like, this is going to be a legendary movie or anything like that. So very middle of the pack. And it did very much feel like they were just like, let's get these 4 actors. And they're like, yeah, what else? And they're like, nope, that's all we got.
No, that's all we got.
They're just like, well, what are you going to have them do? They're like, I don't know. Somebody kills their mom and they got to
it
go
was
after
like,
him.
you know who we need with Mark Wahlberg? Andre 3000.
Yeah.
We're gonna have 3 rappers and then 1 actual actor, and we're gonna make the actual actor a musician in the movie. It's like,
Is Tyrese a rapper?
Tyrese started out as a rapper, or maybe I'm right.
Maybe you're racist.
You know, chat, check for us. If there's anybody in chat, check if Tyrese used to be a rapper. I'm pretty sure
I have no clue.
He
I
was a
can look it
rapper.
up here in a minute.
he should be.
Would you call Mark Wahlberg a musician?
He started out as Marky Mark.
I know
with
he
the
started in a
Funky
band,
Bunch.
but would you
Marky
call him?
Mark.
But would you
No,
call him a
I
musician?
honestly didn't even know that until one day. I heard a song,
Right. And having heard the
he was
song, would you say
"Marky
he's a
Mark,"
musician?
And I was just sitting there. I'm like, what? And yes,
He
to
also
answer your question,
owns a
no.
chain of burger restaurants called Wahlburger.
Wahlburger.
It's all right. I've eaten there once.
Wait.
No, I'm not joking.
That's
This-
owned by him?
Yes, that's him.
There's no. I've eaten there, and I didn't know that it was owned
Yes,
by. That's
it's
hilarious.
called Wahlburger because it's named after. It's like him and his brothers. Yeah, it's Wahlburger.
That's I've eaten
is he
there.
also
Have you read the
on
menu? It's got
Walmart?
the blurb. You read the menu
Isn't
and
that-
it reads in his voice, like on. This
Oh,
is why
that's
we opened
so
a burger
funny.
joint. We, my brothers, we opened the burger joint together. This is Wahlburgers.
Oh my god, I've eaten. Isn't
know
that like
that?
an out west thing, like a
No,
Texas or something? I feel
No,
like that's.
I ate in like Coney Island.
Okay.
What if Mark Wahlberg owned every wall store? And
Well, then he would own the legendary wall drug in South Dakota.
what if we turned every store into a wall? So
Walgreens? It's Mark Wahlberg.
Wall chickens. we got Wallbuster.
Wall filet.
We got Wallbuster.
Waffle
You
House.
barely had Waffle House.
Wall City.
Walmart's already there.
Okay. So now we have the initial thoughts.
Okay.
In my opinion, when it comes down to the actual videography, the cinematography aspect of it, even the score, in my opinion, the score was kind of lackluster. I don't really remember,
remember
too many.
anything,
And that's
literally
the
anything.
issue.
I don't
And
remember
for
any
me,
music in that.
the music was kind of lackluster because I didn't remember it. Now, there were some really, really cool shots, cinematographically speaking, that I thought were like Quentin Tarantino-esque.
Yeah.
Like to the point where the trunk shot when they were opening up the trunk, that's it's super famous, made famous by Quentin Tarantino.
Right.
And they did that shot and it was so good. It was so
and
good.
if I'm not mistaken, that's the cover picture. Yeah, it's the four of
Yep.
them looking down into
Exactly.
it. Yeah, it's a good point. I didn't even realize that was. I didn't even catch it while it was in the movie, but I
Yeah.
know it's the poster.
Yeah, it's such an iconic thing, and I thought that was really well done, and it was really well placed in the movie. It wasn't like this is a weird shot, like a bunch of the same generic mid-range shots, and then there's this random trunk shot. No, it was like I thought that the close-ups were good, the faraways were good, everything was tied together really well.
Well, remind me when well, I guess we'll get into that when the story part comes along. Cinematography and a score for me, same boat. Like I don't remember anything. I don't remember a single song. I don't remember
them having a score.
They might have not had a score. That could be very possible.
There was music.
Okay.
I don't remember much of it.
Okay.
I don't remember music. at all.
As far as cinematography, the landscape felt very Chicago. I think they did a good job at.
Yeah.
I imagine they probably shot in Chicago, but it seemed very Chicago-esque. There was a part like I thought the basketball game was so silly.
Yeah, that was a bit goofy.
It was so. I mean, story aside and plot aside, which we'll get into, just the way it looked, I'm like. Is that supposed to be high schoolers? Because those were grown ass men running down the court. This is one of those high schools where everybody looks 40. You know?
I think
Wait,
it
what?
was. I think it was like a local like.
It's just a
gym,
pickup
like
game.
a pickup game style gym.
Where the crowd is packed out.
I mean, if you have nothing else to do, and
that whole scene was weird.
It was all weird because I'm like, the players are definitely not high schoolers. Everybody in the crowd is going berserk, and they have jerseys on of the players, and it looks like. I half expected the hoops at each end to be like wheeled in, where they're just sitting up like an outdoor
Now,
hoop.
see, you don't realize how far the Chicago Bulls have fallen.
yeah.
It was so like that to me. I was like, do a little bit of better work. Like go to an like maybe that was a high school, but put a little bit of effort into making this shot seem more like.
Because at that point in the movie, they're chasing the guy, and all they know is like, oh, he works out at this gym. So they go to the gym, and there's like an actual club, grown ass man club basketball game going. You're like,
where is this?
Yeah.
Who are these people? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, like packed out gym with 6'5" dudes in jerseys and like 6 refs. I'm like, what is?
Insert one of many plot holes that were just
Yeah.
weird things that wouldn't make sense in
that
real life.
whole scene was such a weird aside. Like, didn't need to happen.
Well, I did think cinematography-wise, I did like there was a shootout at the house, which in my opinion was well done.
Really well done.
Acting aside, which we can get to the acting
rough.
and just like the way that they're all holding guns and shooting the guns is silly. But the effects were good. I mean, like things like the wall blowing apart and holes getting shot through the wall. Again, the scenery of that scene felt like a Chicago neighborhood, like as far as visually. So cinematography, I thought was fine. I thought the basketball scene was a little strange and could have used some more effort.
That's more of a plot thing than an actual cinematography.
But I was trying to poke at the actual cinematography, the fact that it didn't even look like a. I'm trying to grasp in my head.
It did seem like they walked off their set onto a different movie set.
Yeah, it literally
like the lighting is completely different.
It seemed
the color
weird.
scheme was completely different. Yeah, it was a weird.
I'm like,
scene.
you could have done better with that. But do you have any thoughts on the cinematography, music?
Nothing stood out to me. Nothing made me go blah. The score, especially. Completely just like in one ear out the other. I don't remember there being.
Should have just been Outcast and Marky Mark.
Yeah, like you got that. I mean, you had that right there. Why was that not? Why did that not happen?
It was a layup, if you will.
Yeah,
a layup.
Hit me with the horn. Give me the horn.
I'm not doing it.
Come on.
but yeah, cinematography. Again, I thought it looked good. but nothing. There were no shots where I was like, wow, it was really cool, and there were no shots where I like, what were they smoking when they shot that scene? So
Yeah.
again, kind of like the movie, it was good, not great.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely very mid.
Yeah. So, so on a somewhat different side of things, right? So now you've got the story, which I actually thought was really well done
For the most part.
for the most part. What about the acting?
Yeah.
Like specifically the acting,
And the characters.
the character development, and then the acting. And I can't stress this enough. The acting.
So, okay.
Tyrese, let's cash this check.
Tyrese literally just played Tyrese in the movie. He's nothing other. He's Rome from Fast and Furious, and he's also whatever this guy's name was from this movie. But he's always just Tyrese. Like he plays nothing else.
Yeah.
And although this was Marky Mark turned up to like 100, Mark Wahlberg kind of plays himself in every role too.
Yeah.
And Andre 3000 is just Andre 3000 because I'm pretty sure this is the only movie he's ever acted in. So you were really left with the one weird brother who I think Hollywood tried to just shoot him into fame at one point and it didn't really work. He's the lead actor in Tron Legacy. And I think that people were just kind of like, oh, you don't have much of a range. I think he played like James Hook in one of the weird reenactments of Peter Pan. I don't know. He was honestly, that dude died. I'm sorry. I've never been shot by a gun, but it was really weird. Like that was uncomfortable to see him there. Like he was like, like I was like, I just don't like. Again, never been shot.
Thing is,
I don't
being
know.
shot in the stomach can absolutely be fatal.
Oh, sure. Him
There's
dying is
all
fine.
sorts of things, but you don't die. You do not die quickly from being shot in the stomach. You die slowly and painfully, and hopefully you can get help.
And he's lying in the
But it's
snow,
like,
so he's already on ice.
What kills you instantly is getting shot in the head, and even that, like you can survive certain shots of that. Like,
Yeah, it's wild.
Being shot in the head generally kills you.
Right.
Being shot other places, you have to bleed out. You don't die instantly from getting shot, even in the chest. You don't just die because you
What
got
about
shot
like
in the heart.
the heart? Like,
No, you'll die quickly.
You'll die quicker.
You'll die
but-
quick for
Yeah.
sure.
Right.
Heart, lung, you die fast, generally speaking.
well-
but you don't die instantly. There's a reason that you're taught to, like, I was like, oh, why did the police shoot this guy 47 times? Because you're taught to empty your entire clip, because one bullet usually doesn't stop people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was.
And this
it
is
wasn't-
something that Hollywood's always wrong about. Someone gets shot in like the shoulder, and they're just like, "Oh no,
We
like,
lost him.
You know, there are no vital organs right here. Just,
but the
I
thing
don't know
is-
if you know that. You're never just like, "Oh, my lungs."
The problem with that though is when it comes to specifically movies, watching somebody die for 4 minutes.
Oh yeah,
It was
is
just
rough.
Well,
and that's what it felt like in that scene. The guy was dying for the entire time, and I couldn't understand. Like,
he got
just
shot at the
go.
The problem is he got shot at the very beginning of the fight, and then they had a huge shootout while he's sitting there bleeding out. So to some extent, you know, depending on how long that actually took, because it's movie time, so it's unclear how long
And
the
I
shootout
wasn't-
actually was.
I wasn't trying to say that it was done poorly in the sense that it wasn't like that. Oh, he wouldn't have died. Mine was specifically about his response, like his personal acting. That he was like, he's like just foaming at the mouth, and I'm like, dude,
That's actually
I don't know.
more than him dying. Like when you experience that sort of physical trauma, you can go into shock.
Okay,
So maybe
that's
he was
fair.
going into shock.
Maybe that he was acting like he's.
I'm
going
giving
to
him the
shock.
benefit of the
Yeah,
doubt.
yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like that's a lot. That's a big benefit there. Honestly,
But if that's his death throw, that might be a little absurd.
It's man, it's almost like those like overly acted dying.
he does seem like an.
scenes.
He seems like an
And he's
overactor.
just like-
he drank the poison. He's like,
Yes, exactly.
That's what it felt like.
Seemed a bit overacted.
There's
I'll leave it at that.
There's
There you
a blooper reel from Star Trek Voyager.
Okay.
And the one of the guys, Tuvok, he gets shot, and so they're like, Tuvok, get down. He gets shot, and he goes, and just like running around, like slapping, and everyone's dying laughing, and just like falling over, spinning around on chairs, and then finally falls on the ground. That's what that felt like.
Yeah.
It definitely, as far as like acting moments that stuck out of my mind, that was silly. The part where like they started punching each other because they thought the one brother was bad, and he's like, y'all thought I was mad,
Oh,
Mom,
yeah.
and he's like, And I was like,
How did you expect Andre 3000 to throw a punch?
he's like, but it was so weird. You could just tell that they were like, and then Tyrese stand there, and he's just standing there like this, and he like winds up this punch, and he's like, boom, like gets hit. He's just,
Yeah, the fights were a bit silly.
They were. That was definitely silly. I mean, other than the main four actors, who again,
I thought the mom was great, but she died very quickly.
true.
Spoiler alert.
she has a few those little flashback moments. But as far as characters, I thought the only character. Okay, so they try to develop the four of them in a brief scene where they're sitting at the table and they look over and they all kind of see their mother, like she appears. It's a Thanksgiving, so they all in their own way see her, and she's disciplining them effectively.
Except Mark Wahlberg, who doesn't see her until the end of the movie.
Okay, that's fair. So the three of the brothers see her, and she gives them, hey, keep your elbows off the table, do this and that, or, oh, I never thought you'd get a tattoo, right? So they have these little exchanges. To the one brother who dies, Jackie, there's actually a pretty heavy, she's like, I know that people mistreated you in the foster home, and, like, that doesn't change who you are, or something like that. And you can tell it's like affecting him. Once again, I think overacting a bit. He looks like he's about to explode. But it's minor. Other than that, there's not really any character. There's definitely no character development for Tyrese. Other than that, Jackie is just lives and he dies. Mark Wahlberg is just supposed to be the bad boy of the town. They're like, oh, he got kicked out of all these hockey games because he kept fighting, and that doesn't really change at all. The brother, I was going to call him the oldest, but Andre 3000, I mean, I guess his character, was there any development there?
No, he doesn't actually develop, but he technically has the most complex plot because he has the whole, that thing. He's technically the reason the mom got shot.
Right. Okay. Right. Because he sent.
But that's not that stuff. That stuff all happens before the movie. So
right. Okay.
Right.
And then, in my opinion, the only character that actually you did like the movie did something with was the main cop, the guy. I don't know the actor's name, but he.
And then he got shot. I'm spoiling this movie, but it's 2006. But 20 years.
They kind of feed you on as if he's the dirty cop, and then in reality he ends up. I mean, putting himself at risk by confronting the actual dirty cop, which is his partner.
Another thing where it's like, what do you think was going to happen here?
Yeah,
we're gonna spend a lot of time once we get to the plot part because I have so many
there's so many questions.
There's so many head scratching moments.
There's so many.
But yes, the characters. There's not a whole lot to talk about. I mean, they were very simple characters.
The main
and the
bad guy,
fine.
The main bad guy was a little overacting.
He was over the top.
He was a cartoon.
He was a cartoon character. He really was.
This is when I described this movie. I was like, it's like somebody took a mob movie and it took the people that made You Got Served and said, make a mob movie. That's what he felt so silly just with his giant coat. He's like, get down on the floor and eat on the ground. And I'm like, all right, who is this guy?
It was a little rough. And the scene where the scene where they were eating food and then they had the big fat dude eating on the floor like a dog, and then some random girl who wasn't his wife, by the way, I don't think. It was some random girl on another table was like, you get down there, also eat with him. And
I think she was a prostitute that hung out with the guy.
It was weird.
I don't know.
It was weird.
The thing is, like, he doesn't do anything.
You don't do anything.
He doesn't do it. He sends goons, but we don't actually see him do anything.
He is not intimidating at all. I think that scene was supposed to portray it like, oh, look at him. He made that guy get down on the floor. But I'm like, aren't these the guys that would be your muscle? Like, aren't these the guys that would bully somebody into getting down on the floor and you're making them get down on the floor? And I was just kind of sitting there like, yeah, you haven't become intimidating yet. But anyways, as far as characters go, I don't think there's a whole lot of depth there.
No. Do you want to talk about the Tyrese's girlfriend?
Oh my goodness.
Sophia, man, she's still pretty hot for. How old is she now? Sophia Vergara.
That's not what I was talking about. I was talking about her acting.
Oh, her acting.
I wasn't like, hey, there was a hot chick in that movie. Come on, Greg, do better.
What do you think I was supposed to?
We're talking about character plots.
Her only plot was being hot.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Why was she in the movie? Her only use was being
why did she exist in that movie? Because they're like,
great tits.
This is a sausage fest. We gotta throw some tits in there. Like literally, why?
I mean, she literally was just like. And Mark Wahlberg just treated her so poorly. It was so weird.
She is 53 years old and just as hot as she was when she was 23 years old.
Does not surprise me. Hell of an accent, though. Jeez.
Yes.
What do you think I'm doing over here? I'm like, jeez. Wow.
I didn't know she was Irish.
The Lucky Charms that she threw at Mark Wahlberg.
I was like, yeah, it was so weird that Mark was being so racist about her being Spanish when she was clearly Irish. She was like, oh, she's get away with Lucky Charms.
All right, we can talk about the plot now.
Yeah, can we please talk about the plot
story
or the entirety of the Swiss cheese of plot?
You did make a good point. So, like, if somebody told you, like Nathanael did, a very good synopsis, And maybe emphasize a few things. Hey, there's a very loving mother. She adopted four boys. She has a history of adopting this neighbor. She's the sweetest lady. And these 4 boys are kind of rough around the edges. And somebody kills this mom, so they all come back home to their neighborhood to figure out what's going on. I'd be like, okay, that's piqued my interest. Like and the movie at least does a good job establishing her as being a very sweet person. That opening scene is great. I mean, you watch it.
I thought the opening scene was phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I will say is that scene. If the entire movie was like that, that would have been such a good movie. Like top tier
They honestly
movie.
should have leaned much more into that.
Correct.
Serious,
because that
more
was what
serious
worked.
movie.
Yeah. Because they're dealing with serious subject matter the whole time. There's never a point where they're not like, and then characters die.
And the thing is, you can still have all that goofy, most of that goofy brother interaction, and not lose the serious tone.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to cut out the basketball game, Sophia. 90% of the gangsters.
The scene where he is like running with Sophia from her boyfriend, and he's like shooting out the car, and then it's just like ding 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 ding, and he makes it back home, and I'm like, wait, that's a real guy shooting bullets.
I feel
at you.
like
what is
so
this
many
movie?
scenes in this movie. If you just put the Benny Hill theme, it would work. And you're like, that's not a good. That's kind of that shows you're moving into clown territory.
Yeah.
It definitely felt like after that really good start where you're like, oh, and now they're meeting at the funeral, and again, they haven't started joking yet. They're all very serious, and you're kind of like learning a little bit of the backstory from the cops that are like, oh, like that's Bobby. What's their last name?
Mercer.
Mercer. That's Bobby Mercer. You know, he's bad news. And
Oh
he's-
yeah, when John Halo's sidekick from Halo, I can't remember his name, but he's John Halo's sidekick in Halo TV show. He becomes Exposition Q Dumpington. It's
Yeah.
like, this is this guy, and this is this
he's
guy.
just
this is
reading
this guy. Just
reading the
like,
backstories
they're
for
all
each of the 4
screw-ups.
characters. But even at that point, you're like, okay, there could be a good movie here, and then it just turns into Clownville. It takes a left right onto Clownville, and you get Sofia Vergara like just being insane. I mean, she's just way over the top and just like, I'm a hot chick, look at me. And then all the brothers are just, even the first time they're like, hey, we're gonna go out. I'm like, okay, here they go. And then they just go sprinting into that party, like shooting in the air.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not what I was expecting. Like, I thought you guys would act with some tact, and it's like nobody there has a gun. Not one person
And
has
this
a
is,
gun
to
there.
me, this is like the big, and why I'm like, what was I supposed to take away from this? Is the whole intro of the movie is like, okay, so this is a sweet woman who helps foster children in Chicago, and she helps get them into homes. And these 4 kids were just so screwed up beyond anything that other parents can handle, that she ended up taking them in under her wings herself. Like, she adopted them herself because no one else would take them. It's like, okay, that's really sweet. And then you find out that really only Andre 3000 has actually become a better person. The rest of the 3 of them are still colossal screw-ups and kind of horrible people and criminals. And
They do mention in there something about if she didn't take them, then they would be even worse.
Right, but that's like, but they're running around, shooting at parties, just like doing whatever the hell they want to do. And like,
And I think the bigger thing is that the movie needed to tell us that. See, like, I thought that the little flashback moments would keep happening, and maybe one of them would get a, hey, remember I told you about this. I know you struggle with this, but remember. And then one of them develops, like, this is character development. And you see one of them go, because my mom told me this, I'm actually not going to be, and still make them rough around the edges, but I'm going to hold back from doing X, whatever that is. They never do that.
If they had been like, oh, I really want to kill this guy, but mom wouldn't have wanted that, so we're going to make sure he goes to jail for the rest of his life. Something like that.
Sure.
Or even if they ended up killing him, like something to make me say that, oh,
yes,
they that her influence redeemed them away from this horrible life of crime to some extent, which again, for Andre 3000, it clearly did.
Well, but even that, the movie didn't necessarily like.
But then he's just like, yeah, let's go shoot some motherfuckers. I'm like, okay, Andre, calm down.
Yeah, I'm like, the movie, and it was again, to use this term again, it was a layup. Like, you've created everything else about it. I'm like, just make 1 or 2 of them have some kind of through line going throughout this movie. We know they want revenge, but even if they do get the revenge, have them grow in some way. Have that connected to the mom. Like show flashbacks where you see these kids interacting with the mom, and they're each remembering those flashbacks, and they come into key points in the story. But it was so like, it just became so empty.
The first 10 minutes of the movie wrote checks that the writer's talent could not cash.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's true. It's absolutely true. And then one of the scenes that I could not get my head around was
Besides the basketball one,
was when the cop, after they go and shoot up that party,
right.
The cop comes in, they essentially admit that they did all of the things, and the cop was like, you better not get in my way. And they're like, well, if I did, I would do this, this, and that. And it's explaining identical what just happened. And it's like,
Okay. They did so many crimes, and they're well known in these parts with so many eyewitnesses, and yet the cops are like, nah, better be careful, I don't catch you. You realize the cops don't have to be physically present, like watching you do a crime to arrest you, or even just like throw you in jail until they're like, well, we're just gonna put you in lockup until we figure out what's going on.
The basketball game alone, you stopped a basketball game
and
held people up at gunpoint. You're going to jail.
Yeah, not
100%.
a single person ducked. Let it be known. If you see
Chicago.
a gun getting waved around, but still, if you see a gun getting waved around,
everyone was like,
duck.
"This asshole's interrupting our basketball game."
Dude,
like, what are you gonna
put
do?
it down, man. Put the gun down,
Quote from Guy Stab. What are you gonna do? Stab me?
It just turned to Clownville.
Yeah, it was clown show.
They stopped caring at all, like the consequences of the actions of these characters, and they're like, let them run loose. People will like it, and it's a missed opportunity. Ultimately, that's what. And the one big one that got me, where I was like, this isn't even like, hey, you didn't put effort in it. This is like you put effort in the negative, you literally
you
thought
focused on the wrong
you had
thing.
to make it even more stupid. He's like, I've got a plan to get that other cop. And he's like, I'm going to go through the process of wearing a wire and then tell him that the wire is going to the cops so that he drags me outside and points a gun at me and shoots at the cops. That's your plan. Not wear an actual wire that has recording. He could have just that wire that he had, it could have just been a real one that was recording in his pocket, and he said all of those things. And he's like, hey, okay, take me outside. So he takes him outside, they arrest him, and he goes, now listen to this. But instead, he's like, well, let's take our shot with let's just not record with a wire, and we'll just tell him we did, so then he takes me outside. It's like, if you were explaining that idea to me, I would shake you and be like, you're an idiot. You're going to get shot somewhere. Like, he's lucky he didn't get shot in the actual movie. I'm pretty sure he got shot at. Yeah. And I'm like, how did you know he was going to react that way? How do you know he didn't look out the window?
Because he's a dirty cop. Dirty cops are all the same person.
I guess.
Yeah.
But to me, even watching it, I was like, this is such a more complicated plan than actually wearing the wire. He's like, I wore a fake wire. It's like, wait, no, put a real one on. It's clearly some kind of wire. It was so silly to me. That was the only part where I watched it and I was like, the actual plot just does not
it falls apart.
This was so silly.
Yeah. It falls apart so bad halfway through.
They
not
tried to
even
build
halfway
this
through.
complicated crime story, and they just didn't have the chops for it.
Was there any development in the story as far as like, were you sitting there going, I wonder who's doing this? You find out pretty much right away,
exactly
right?
who's doing it. There's no, there's almost no mystery.
The only quote unquote mystery would be that the partner, the cop's partner, was a bad cop, and you find out about that probably, I don't know, probably 3/4 of the way through, probably a little bit more than halfway.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's no mystery in the movie whatsoever.
Well, I guess the only one in which they did a good job of, and I'll give them their bones, was the ending.
What now?
The ending plan where they actually like they pay off. They're like, hey, I'm gonna go give him the money, but in reality, they dropped the money and they were paying off all of his hoodlums.
I saw that coming though.
I was
of course he's marching out like.
Now,
it was so obvious that they were setting that up because they really had to emphasize that this gangster guy was bad. Not all these other gangster guys. They were just like they were mean, but like no, this gangster guy, he was bad. So he's like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck your wife. Like what? What are you talking about? like surely some gangster is gonna be like, if you try that, I will just shoot you.
Yeah, like
they all have guns, right?
I mean, you would think they're all.
Are they that loyal to this one guy who they all hate? That if someone's like, you put a hand on my wife, I shot you, and they're gonna be like, oh, ride or die.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Why was he so feared? They never explained it.
That's why.
exactly
That's
the
why.
point.
That was my point.
Powerful.
He didn't
for
do
why?
anything. He didn't do anything.
Right.
They say, oh, he came in and he consolidated power. Like, okay, how? What did he do?
Because
He doesn't seem to have that. All the high tier villains have that right hand man who will do whatever they want. He didn't have that.
Right.
And like they never showed him like giving to the community in the way that like a lot of like mobsters will do, where they're like getting these kids out of the slum and they give them a life, and that's why they're so attached to them, because they're like, oh, like Tony D, he got me out of like the whatever, and so now I'll do whatever he tells me to. Like they build that whole story. Like The Departed, like that's how it starts. Is that Matt Damon is a kid, and he's pretty much saved by Jack Nicholson.
I forgot Jack Nicholson's in that movie.
Yeah, he's the creepy mob boss, and so that's why he's so loyal, because he's just like, well, you're effectively my dad. Like you raised me, you gave me everything I have, and they don't like you could with very little effort you could have shown any of that. Instead, they're just like, he's gonna be mean to these guys all the time, and then those guys they're gonna have to get paid $400,000. Why wouldn't you just done it for free? Be like, hey, I don't like eating on the floor. I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah,
and then of course it's followed up. It's followed up by Mark Wahlberg punching him in the face to death.
Oh,
And if you're thinking that means him getting over top of him, punching him, no, it's just they're fighting, and then one of the punches he throws kills the guy, I guess.
Well, it certainly knocks him out, and then they drag him into the water.
He's
so
knocked
they
out with his
definitely
eyes
dies.
wide open. So he
mean,
he looked
I guess
dead.
technically you could be knocked
You
out with your
can.
eyes wide
You
open,
absolutely
but,
see a lot.
but he
It's-
looked dead.
I think they were
Either way,
trying
they
to
tried
communicate
his-
that he was dead, and it was like, oh, that punch killed him. And it's just this silly,
And
beat his
also,
ass,
it's
get
like
him.
it's not like, oh, Mark Wahlberg ended up being like a boxer or something. He's just a dude,
he's just a guy, and he punches him a
scrawny
bunch,
guy at that.
and then they bury him in the ice, and then movies. So
That was the most unrealistic thing when Tyrese is like, yeah, I just came back from the military and he's big and jacked, and Mark Wahlberg's just like whipping him around. You're like, hello?
yeah. What have you been doing, Mark? I was a teacher.
I was playing hockey. Like, oh, okay, bro.
playing hockey. So, any more thoughts on the story plot before we get into message?
It's pretty.
The message.
It's pretty thin. It's all pretty thin. Other than we could go on about the plot holes and how, like, again, it's just cartoonish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was. I think the
To its detriment.
the
I think
silliest-
there are times where you can have a movie that leans into the absurdity.
Sure.
Kind of like Wes Anderson movies do that a lot, where it's very silly,
Yeah.
but in a way that enhances the movie.
Right.
Whereas it's cartoonish in a way that detracts from the movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's just the number of times you see them commit a crime in broad daylight in front of a ton of people,
Yeah.
and then they just walk away, and the cops are like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I almost had you."
So I'll
And
give
you're
you
like,
a perfect example of this because I just watched The Phoenician Scheme. So in this movie, they do crazy things like, shooting at like hundreds of people, clubs, where everyone can see their faces, and the cops are like, "No, what did you do?" And it's like, "What the heck?" And then of course the fights and the basketball scene and all this stuff is like just out of clown world. In Phoenician Scheme, he's like, what's the main character? It's Benicio del Toro. Yeah, Benicio del Toro. He's like going to different business partners, and he has this box of hand grenades, and he's just offering them as gifts. He's like, hand grenade? And they're like, sure, thank you. And they just move on, right? It's like, it's an absurd thing,
Yeah.
but it works within the movie.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's hilarious. He's just giving out hand grenades, and everyone's like, oh, thank you, I'll take a hand grenade, sure. And it's very silly, but it works in the movie because the movie is very silly.
"Sure."
Yeah.
So it's like you have this, again, first 10 minutes are setting up what it is almost like a Departed.
Yeah.
Very serious, crime drama, gritty. And then you're like riding around on unicycles, tooting your clown horn, like firing your gun in the air. And you're like, guys, what happened?
Yeah, it literally starts
So,
off with Grandma
like
getting
the-
shot by
yeah.
a shotgun.
Yeah.
That's about as heavy
okay.
as it can get.
Okay, so brings me to my next point: the story, or the message that goes behind it.
message.
The message.
I think that the message is quite nice. Actually, it's about four guys, not very good at it, but they are
Brothers.
worse than what they could have been, and
Better-
all
better than what they could
I'm sorry,
Of course, we're
better
only
than what they
told
could
that.
have
We're
been.
only told that. We're not shown
Yes.
that. We're
Again-
only told that.
But yes,
Plot holes,
you're
but the message itself is about these four brothers who could have been way worse had it not been for this loving, endearing mother who did
Very
everything.
family positive, for
It's a
sure.
very family positive thing, and I love that. And all the brothers stick together.
Yeah.
Yes, they question each other about it halfway through with the dude with the insurance policy and stuff
Andre.
like that. But
Classic Andre.
realistically, they all stick together.
Yeah.
They're all brothers. They're mourning the loss of the brother together. They're mourning the loss of the mom together. Everything is family oriented, which I really appreciate. But yeah, outside of all the story plots, the holes, rough.
I mean, most mob movies feel like that, where they're all extremely loyal. However, this one had a different feel because you kind of get at the beginning that it seems like it's a woman trying to pull people out of that lifestyle. But then they just operate the whole movie, the
Right.
four of them, in that
So,
lifestyle in
yeah,
order to get what they
exactly.
want.
So-
and then you're like, what did she teach you again?
So this is the problem I had with that one, after it was over, and I was like, now wait just a minute. I had to Columbo. There's just one thing I don't get. I love the intro again, where it's just these kids growing up in these terrible conditions, and this woman is giving up her life to make sure that they can have a better one, right? You know, self-sacrifice, family, caring for each other, right? Like they grew up in the same house and they're like, we're brothers,
Right.
period. That aspect of it, loved it. And then, to Greg's point, they're like, so let's go shoot up a bunch of nightclubs to get revenge for our mother. I'm like 90,000% sure she would not be okay with that. But everyone's okay with that. Like the cops okay with it at some point, and and even Andre 3000 is like, I have a wife and kids. I have to be more than this. And then he's like, yeah.
He's like, I guess I gotta go. Just like, wait, why?
Well,
you guess you have to go.
Guess here I go killing again. It's like, guys, like, it was trying to have its cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
It wanted to have the revenge flick, but it never got around to the, hey guys, revenge isn't actually good. Like
Right.
doing all these seedy things isn't actually good. You were supposed to be better than that. And that should have been like halfway through the movie where they get like, there should have been like a sub boss, like a mid boss, and they kill that guy, and then they realize there's repercussions or something, and they realize like we can't do it this way.
Yeah.
We have to do it the way mom would want us to do it, which is to be better than what we were supposed to be. That's what it should have been.
Right.
And instead they're just like, and we got revenge, and we all lived happily ever after except for Jackie who got shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly, when the movie ended, I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be taking away
Yeah.
from this movie.
Revenge is awesome, guys.
It's a revenge flick that kind of paints itself as if the revenge is not that bad. Because most movies that are pure revenge flicks, the person that's doing the revenge kind of like learns a lesson and is like, hey, the whole movie is about me getting my revenge, but then I found out it didn't make me happy, and then I had to learn X, Y, and Z. Or I ended up, Count of Monte Cristo, I learned my lesson along the way, but I still kind of had to get my revenge at the end because the guy was relentless and wouldn't stop, so I had to. This was just like, they got their revenge, and they've learned so much. I'm like, wait, did I miss? I was like, I'm pretty sure like none of them
skip a step?
afterwards were like, hey, let's pour into the community and let's start something. You had Mark Wahlberg rebuilding his mom's house and telling some kids to stay in school or stay off the streets or something. And I'm like, yeah, why not make that the movie? Like that, why not make him be like, you know what, we could do this, or we could start making this neighborhood a safer, a better place to live. And they're just like, bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, what it should have been is it should have been something like Andre 3000 is like, okay, his whole like community thing got waylaid.
Yeah.
And it should have been him saying, you know what? I know you guys are going for revenge of this guy. I can't help you with that because this is more important. This is what mom would have wanted for me to focus on making this community center, houses, whatever. And then at the end, they give up on revenge to come join him, or they don't. And then it's a sad ending. But like they should have done something with that, and they just didn't. They're just like, so yeah, let's go shoot the guy that shot our ma. Like, okay.
Ma. All right,
Okay.
Marko.
All right. So let's do a quick wrap up for this movie.
Yeah.
Okay. We are going to play a game. And this game is a guessing game.
Yay.
According to
Jeopardy rules.
not Jeopardy rules.
You must answer in the form of a question, Greg.
No. According
What
to
is
Rotten
Marky Mark?
Tomatoes, there are two different ratings. There is the rating from the audience,
one for the
and then there
critics.
is the rating from the actual critics. We are going to, or you two are, because I'm just looking at it, are going to
He
are
gets
going
it right
to
every time. How
guess
does he do it?
that you guys are going to guess what the ratings are for the audience, and then what the ratings are for the critics.
Okay, I like it.
Okay.
Okay, on your mark, set, go. Discuss,
I've
try
got-
and figure it out.
Oh,
Okay.
are we working together?
Yeah. Go ahead and figure.
All right.
Go ahead and
I feel
and work
like
together.
Four Brothers is going to be lower critics, higher audience, because it was one of those movies where
Yeah,
if you think about it,
100%.
it's got tons of issues.
I think it's like a 4.7 critics,
Yeah.
and then like a 6.3 audience.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I was thinking like 40,
it is
60.
based on
Yeah.
it is based on 100%
Okay, so
rating. So
I would say
it's
40,
0 to
60, maybe
100%.
50, 65, something like that.
I would say I would give it like mid 40s for critic. So
We'll say
we're
45.
going together for
Yeah,
our guess.
go ahead. Yeah,
We'll say
go ahead and work
45
together.
critic.
45 for the
So
critic.
45 for the critic, and then I was gonna say
I'd say 65.
6.7 for the
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll
so-
say 65 for the audience.
65%.
You had the right idea where the critics were lower and the audience was higher, but it was more.
It was worse.
It was not worse. It was 53% for the critics.
Oh, we're not too far off.
So not
Within
super far.
10%
Yeah,
is
within
decent.
10%. But the The audience was much higher at 80%.
No way. The
Which
audience
I'm
loved
shocked
that
by.
crap.
Which I'm shocked by.
Honestly, though, I'd be curious to know what like the Fast and Furious critic scores are, because if those are all
I can
high,
look it up, but,
then I
yeah.
I could have for sure told you this is because this is for sure a
Can we look
fan.
at? Are we allowed to look at a similar movie to try to get an idea, or what we think is a similar movie to get an idea? That would be funny.
That'd be a great way to play this game.
A bad example would be the Fast and Furious 1 because of how iconic it was.
Sure.
Yeah, because that
But let
DVD
me
players, man.
look at what they said. Wow, actually, very similar. Fast and Furious 1, the first Fast and Furious, 55 from the critics and 74 from the audience.
Yeah, about
which
20%
I'm shocked
gap.
by.
That's
which
pretty
is,
normal.
Which is hilarious because Four Brothers is much not much, but
Yeah,
higher.
Four Brothers
Yeah.
is not a better movie than the first Fast and
I
Furious.
agree
It's
with you there.
about the
wild
same.
to me.
A similar quality.
Yeah, and again, we had the same thought, but it's an 80%.
80%'s a lot.
That makes me not want to trust audiences. Jeez, do you guys?
I will say, audience scores tend to be higher than what I think they should be.
Yeah, we should.
Fair.
We should
Almost
in our
always.
future guesses.
When I'm
we
like,
should
oh,
always
that
throw
was
it
a
little
6.5, the audience was like, that was an 8, and I'm like, no.
So now
So-
we'll give our own
All right, so
ratings.
yeah, so let's go ahead and
Of
give
course,
our
then
owns.
Predator 2 has like a 50 or 60% audience, and
they're
that's like
wrong.
a 70 or an 80. Like,
Yeah.
they're-
Yeah,
yeah,
so
audiences are stupid. You guys are stupid.
If I
Do
had to
better.
give my
That was
own-
did you see the? There was a slight sidebar. There's some guy, some movie critic or something, put out a tweet that was like, the fact that Jurassic Park Rebirth did better than Superman and Fantastic Four, maybe the audience is just stupid. We shouldn't be blaming the studios. I'm like, wow, okay. He's like, we're the problem. Like, no, you're not. No.
So
Do better.
I will go ahead and give my rating first.
Okay.
Again, 1 out of 100, assuming it percentage wise.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a solid 40.
Okay.
That is my.
under-
that is mine.
So
Under
you're going
50%.
Under 50%.
It is. It is on its surface a fun movie. Like I can't explain that other than it was a fun watch. Like there was
Enjoyed
nothing
watching
to it.
I
There's
really
no
don't think
depth. There's no nothing to it. It's just okay, sure, why not?
It's just weird it's weird for me as I think to try to rank it, because when I actually sit back and think of it, it's not a part of an existing IP. There's no sequels or whatever. It's on its own. I don't think there would be any reason ever for me to rewatch this movie or to ever recommend it to anybody. Like I don't know if that person exists. Like that would want to, like a 13-year-old from like the early 2000s might think that one's like a kind of a fun, edgy movie, but I don't know. And that makes me want to bring it down lower. Like the actual watching experience wasn't bad, but when I sit back and look at the movie, yeah, it's bad, dude. Like it was just like, yeah, I think I'd probably be maybe just a hair under the 40%. So I'm gonna go 38%.
38.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I can't in good conscience give less than 50% to a movie that I didn't despise watching. Like I didn't watch it
That's
and
a
was
good
like,
point.
I
Okay.
did not enjoy watching the movie.
I'm gonna bring my score
I
up.
enjoyed it slightly, so I'm gonna give it 51%.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna give
do.
it 51%, and then on a grade, I would give it a C minus.
I'm gonna bring mine up. That is a good point, and I do this because I anticipate some bad rule stinkers,
Right.
and I want to leave some room because that is 100% right. I did not hate this viewing experience, although I would never recommend it and
Right.
wouldn't watch it myself.
Right.
I'm gonna bring it up to like a 40. I'm gonna say 46.
Yeah, it was
So-
a mid movie. It had a
Sorry to make
it
you
had a
change.
That's
baffling
okay.
plot. It had tons of plot holes, bizarre acting choices, a lot of really stuff, like a lot of technical stuff that was just not well done.
Yeah,
But charming chemistry between the brothers,
it's true.
and the mom was great, and like the initial plot is quite good.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that makes me go, oh, why did they do that? But I am just like, huh?
Yeah.
So for me, 51, C minus.
All right. So 51 for you.
Although technically 51's an F. I'm a teacher. Sorry.
Yeah, well, it's fine. 51 for you.
46 for me.
46 for Greg.
40 for Mark.
40 for Mark. I'm sticking to
Yeah.
it. 'cause
So
I-
we averaged like exactly at a 46.
yeah, which is interesting. Which is interesting.
I think it's fine to look at it, like grade it more harshly on the technicals, because like that's what you're paid for.
Yeah.
You should be good at that. How it makes you feel, you can't control that much for.
Right. You might have just thought it was funny. And,
Yeah.
Which, if we're gonna look at the humor,
Yeah. So I think for the most part, the humor landed. Again, there's so many asides and so much like baffling decisions that, again, I can't go higher than 51. Maybe
The
a
scene where
40,
like Mark Wahlberg's
but
taking
I
a
have no
dump,
problem with the 40. I
and
don't
the
think
one
it's too
brother is
low.
in the shower, and the other brother comes in and is like, "Hey, look at my wiener because I just had sex." You're like, are you trying to communicate how close these brothers are? Because I think you could have done it better than having them all naked in the
they
same
honestly
room.
could have just had the one guy showering and Mark's taking a dump on the toilet at the same time with the door open.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, the wiener thing was weird.
All right, so the last bit,
Here we
right?
go.
The last thing. That movie's wrapped up. Everybody happy with the wrap up of the movie?
Hey.
Put a bow on it.
Dog. Okay, now we're going to play a game, and since you were the
I don't
one,
want to play another game.
we're playing another game. Since you were the one, Nathaniel, to do the synopsis
All right, hit
within
me.
the 40 some odd seconds, 10 seconds, but 40
I know
some
it's
odd
under 10
seconds.
seconds.
You're also going to be the one that is going to be categorizing these 5 things
Okay.
without knowing, ranking them without
So
knowing what's
so
coming next.
Just let me say what I think I'm doing to make sure I got it right.
Uh-huh.
You're going to give me a thing
Yep,
out of 5, and I have to give it the rank 1 through 5, and I can't change it.
correct.
Okay, you got it.
Correct.
And 1 being the highest,
1 being the
best,
highest, 5
best.
being the worst.
Yes.
Now,
Okay, I understand.
in a way to keep it relevant to the movie, I have decided that the category is best mothers.
Hey, okay.
In cinema,
No,
in
no,
anything.
anything.
but you've picked the 5
I
mothers.
have picked the 5 things.
So you don't know
What do
what
I do
comes
if I
next.
don't know the mother?
You will know the mother.
Okay,
Trust
all right.
me.
All right, hit me.
The first mother, Mother Teresa.
Okay, not technically a mother in the physical sense, but she did a lot of amazing service in Calcutta. One of the first people to go and actually serve the untouchables.
The fact that he knows all this knowledge is great.
I know, that's why
I'm
I'm laughing so
great.
hard.
But I'm going to dock her a point because she's not a physical mother. She's a mother in the Catholic sense, like she's a
Mother.
a
Thank
nun.
you, mother. Yeah.
So I'll put her at number 2.
Number 2.
Oh.
I think it's going to be
right.
hard
Mother
to beat
Teresa coming
beat
to-
lifelong service to God. Is going to be really high in my book. So
It's true.
It's really hard to
Okay.
beat.
All right.
And I'm gonna be
You're
eating
gonna
crow if
be-
it's like number 1, Ursula. Ay! Sorry, Mother Teresa.
All right. Next one on the list, Mother Nature.
Mother Nature.
She's a bitch.
I mean, she's all right. I'll give her a 3.
I mean, she's
3.
aight.
All right. So
I'll
you
put Mother
got
Nature
2
3.
and 3.
God's
right.
creation.
My goodness. The next one,
He's
Mother
never
her
Russia.
brother.
The-
Brother Nature.
The next one, Mother Russia.
Mother Russia. Communism. 5. Sorry.
Thank you.
Oh.
That better. If you were like 4, I was like, what do you think? 5
By
and
4,
worse
she's gonna be like Hitler's mom.
I think you might get stuck with 1 here. You gotta be careful, dude.
Find out.
All right. Mary, Mother of Jesus.
No, 1. Easy.
Okay.
Hey, there we go.
Theotokos.
And your last one going at the 4th ranked, Mother Goose.
Yeah, I put Mother Goose below Mother Nature, but above Mother Russia. You know what?
That's a
I think I
great-
nailed it.
that
I think I
actually
nailed it.
is-
That is fan-freaking-tastic.
I think I nailed it.
Wow, that was
Fantastic.
actually really well done.
That was really well done.
really
I
well
was
done.
not expecting you to.
The Mother
was
Teresa
expecting
coming in
something.
at 2 was what I was like, bro. Mother Teresa, Mary
Bold.
Magdalene. No,
No,
sorry,
no,
Mary,
different
sorry,
Mary.
sorry, Mary,
False.
Mother of Jesus.
False. There are a lot of Marys in the Bible. To be fair, it was
Yes.
a very common name.
Mary, the Mother of Jesus.
Correct. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
Good.
Yes. All right.
Let's
so,
move on to
I
the
feel like I
next
did well.
movie.
Movie
Oh,
number
I think
2.
you did fantastic.
So our next movie is Hell or High Water.
2016.
So am I?
You are the one.
I'm giving
and
the
I've
synopsis.
already asked
And you have 1 second.
ChatGPT.
Okay. Here we
And
go.
the ChatGPT number that it gave me is 27.
I think I can do this. Give
can do
me
this.
1 second to think, and then give me a countdown. Hold on.
You
Give
are
him 5 seconds to process.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
2 brothers lose their mother. She dies. She's on a land that has a lot of oil, and they want to keep this land, but it's getting foreclosed on, so they need money. So they start to rob banks. One of the brothers is just out of jail. He's kind of a head case, and he robs the banks because he loves it. The other one is a really good guy who gets kind of drug along with the brother, and he really wants to claim this land because his sons get the land. So they go off, they rob these banks, and at the end of the day, crazy brother gets shot, and older brother gets away, and the kids live happily ever after with all the oil.
Oh, wow. That
Pretty
is
much nailed it.
Fantastic.
You only left out half of the major characters.
That is
And then Jeff Bridges was there.
that was impeccable, sir. Impeccable.
Oh, man. So okay, I'll get my initial thoughts, I guess, on the Man, I thought it was a really well done movie. Really well done movie. Like, not necessarily my type of movie typically, but I really enjoyed watching it. Like, I thought that the characters had a ton of depth. I mean, each one. They did not talk about polar opposite of Four Brothers. I mean, like, each character in this movie felt like they had depth and really well acted. It's just all around. I really enjoyed this movie. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good movie. I have a complaint about it, but it's not with the movie itself, but when we get to messaging, I'll get to that. What I liked about it, one thing I liked about it was, I'm now set in Texas, but it really felt like a Western, like very much like a classic Western.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you. And to
Which
give
I
my
like Westerns.
and to give my review, I was absolutely blown away by this movie. I loved this movie. I was a big fan of it.
I figured when I was watching it, because we watched it together, just to let the audience in. We all watched Four Brothers independently, and we watched this together yesterday. And I sat there and was like, "This is like Marko probably loves the crap out of this movie."
Yes,
because I thought it was great. I was
it was a great
well
movie.
done too.
Yes.
It's not my typical type of movie, so we'll get to that when we talk about it later. But like, as far as
It's not a movie for
my critical
dumbasses.
eye,
I mean, what? It's a movie for intellectuals.
there
like
weren't enough
us.
crayons in the movie.
They
There are no
spelled
pictures.
things
How can you read this?
They spelled things correctly. It was unbelievable how many things were spelled correctly.
Honestly.
Okay, so how do we want to dive in?
Yeah,
here,
so
Marko?
I can start out with the characters. Let's start with the characters because I thought that they
Characters
did
and
a really
acting.
really good job of all of the characters, building the characters and understanding that cat and mouse game between the cop and then the brothers. And I thought that whole journey was so good, and the way that they all the characters let things breathe, which was, I'll get into that when it comes to cinematography, but the way that the movie was done was so good, and the actors really like stepped up to the idea, and they were really really good.
They were all bought in.
I was super impressed by the acting in this movie.
And I'll say, Four Brothers really had four main characters.
Yeah.
This one also had four main characters.
Yes.
Although Alberto's a little bit less, but still four main characters. And boy, if you want to compare, like, how do you do a character arc? Like, well, why don't you watch this movie and then try to remake that one? Although it was 10 years later, so.
Yeah.
No, I thought that there was not a bad acting job in the bunch.
No.
I mean, to the point where when they were interviewing random people, I was like, I haven't spent a lot of time in West Texas. I've driven through it and like had a video shoot somewhere around there. But like that
ending.
felt like, I'm like, those are just, this just feels like I'm in West Texas. Like the people they interviewed, I'm like, I'm not sure you're an actor. You just sound, he's just like, with the first bank they robbed, they're like, you got a gun on you? He's like, of course I got a gun on me. And it's like, it's West Texas, dude. Like, what do you think?
Yeah.
I just felt like everything was very authentic. And also, yes, I mean, the characters, man, the depth in each of the characters, if we want to dig into it just a little bit, but like Jeff Bridges' character probably, in my opinion, had the most like, he was the most fascinating. Because I'm not even sure, and I'll ask you guys, I'm not even quite sure what. So his whole thing. So Jeff Bridges is the cop that's chasing the two brothers, and he's about to retire. This is the movie makes it clear this is kind of his last thing. They're all like, "Aren't you retired yet?" And he's an old timer. He's kind of cranky and a little racist to his partner, who he definitely loves. Like he loves his partner way too much. So the partner's like, dude, get out of my room. Like there's this scene where they're sitting together, and then the partner reveals that he's like, yeah, it might be a little less cramped if you were actually in your room. And so they like, as the audience member, you're like, oh, he's got his own room and he's just bugging him here. So you know he loves his partner, but he's old and he's a little racist. And
Well, he's old and he makes what would now be very culturally sensitive joke. But if you have any friends who are a different ethnicity from you, you make those jokes all the time. Like
really close friends, like, and that's all he does the whole movie.
I have a friend who's Puerto Rican, and literally we would just call him Miguel. and we would go, whenever I would go on vacation, I would look for little name tags, and I'd get a little Miguel name tags, and he thought it was hilarious. And he'd make a bunch of Jew jokes about me, and like,
that's what you, when you have a close friend, that's what you do.
It's what you do.
And like I thought their chemistry was hysterical to the point where we were laughing out loud at most everything that was said.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges was impeccable, but the guy whoever played Alberto was also really good.
He was always super stoic the whole time. He had you could tell he was very deep in thought. He occasionally let those thoughts out, which was really interesting. But then a few times he did break up and crack too when he would like come back with an even better joke to kind of one up Jeff Bridges. Would say something, and then he's just like he would say something I can't even think of the specific circumstances, but they were just charming together. But I thought that Jeff Bridges, because by the end, and this is again spoiler alert if you haven't watched it,
Still almost 10 years old movie.
his partner Alberto dies. Kind of abrupt, like the movie does not
just
brace
happens.
you at all, like, which is I thought was really
very
well done.
unexpected.
Like they get into the shootout at the very end of the movie. There's been nothing leading up that he's going to be the one that dies. He's got a family. Jeff Bridges is a solo guy. He's old and a little cranky. So you're like, he's almost ready to go. You can tell he kind of just wants to die. Like he wants to die on the job.
He says something to the effect of, maybe I can get in a shoot. He was like, bank robbers, maybe we can get in a shoot and I can go out in a blaze of glory instead of retiring and sitting on a porch on my ass for the rest of my life.
That's
Like
right.
he's very much like, I kind of hope I die on this one. Like it turns into an exciting gunfight and I die, and Alberto's like, I really don't want that to happen. And the tragic irony is that Alberto's the one who gets shot.
And I think that it changes. I mean, and you can tell at the end there's this really cool exchange. We can get into this when we get to the plot and story, but it has to deal with characters too. But Jeff Bridges goes and talks to the good brother who made it out, and he's kind of
good in quotes.
Yeah, the movie's trying to show you that he's the good brother, but he approaches him and basically says, there's no way that I can prove this, or nobody else thinks it, but I know that you did it, and it's going to haunt you, but it's also haunting me. And I had to think about that because I'm like, why is it haunting you? But it's haunting him because he was really cavalier the whole time with being like, well, I want to make this last as long as I can. I don't want to go into retirement. Maybe I'll get into a gunfight, all this stuff. And he didn't realize that he was putting his partner in jeopardy, and his partner gets shot and killed. And now it's haunting him. That he was like, yeah, you weren't the one that pulled the trigger, but like you were part of what this all made this happen. And he was kind of going, and I am too. Like, we were both a part of that.
So he definitely feels survivor's guilt. Like it should have been me and not Alberto, because Alberto's the one with the family. Alberto's the one who had stuff to live for.
Right.
I didn't. Why am I still alive?
And it rejuvenates, it clearly reinvigorates him to be like, and now, of course, he's retired and he's unhappy with it. Like, it shows you a few clips of him just kind of being antsy, going back to the police station, and they're like, dude, you got to retire. And he's like, I think it's this guy. And they're like, listen, there's no, we can't prove that. Like, it doesn't seem like it's him at all. I think you're just following a hunch of your own. So I thought that his whole arc was super fascinating. Whereas the crazy brother is the crazy brother the whole time. There's no
character building there, but he does a great job of being who he was portrayed to be. This crazy brother who has no
his
care.
acting was
fantastic,
great.
And
I don't know if I've ever seen him in anything else, but he
did a really good job. But he played this character that was over the top, like
adrenaline
ballsy,
junkie,
if you will, like just an adrenaline junkie. He's doing it almost for fun. All of these bank robberies, it's not even about the stealing of the money. It's more about the adrenaline at that point. And he plays that character so well to the point where, like, he's doing the bank robbing and this and that, but there was even a scene where he goes and does a bank robbery by himself, and he's like laughing about it, and it's just he's just getting the joy out of it,
to the high of the crime, and it puts his brother in jeopardy several times. But at the end, I guess if you were going to noble for his own rights, like noble for what him and his brother were trying to do, in that he turns his car around where the brother's like, "What are you doing? We got to go," and he's like, "I love you, little brother." And then they kind of have this moment where, again, it fees like a Western, feels like a big gust of wind comes by, and he nods his head, and he just drives his car straight back towards all the cops to basically pull all the cops off of the good brother, so that he can just drive away. And you could tell that based on their exchange that wasn't expected, that he kind of essentially sacrificed himself there. Now, it obviously doesn't justify him. He's shooting cops while he's doing it. He's an awful guy.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's funny because there is a nobility, and this is when we get into the themes, I want to go more into this. There is a nobility, but ultimately he's self-serving and psychopathic.
Yeah, it's awful. Yeah, and the nobility would come.
And I think that comes to the point where he's up on the hill and he says, "I am Comanche." It was like a callback to the whole Lord of the Plains thing, and he's like, "I can do whatever the hell I want. I'm above the law." He really is he is helping his brother.
Yeah.
But ultimately, he's serving himself.
He's serving himself because he's addicted to it. But he does. It's funny. You mentioned that. What did you guys think about that scene in the poker room where he's like, "Do you know what Comanche?" Like he's
I thought it was
making
great.
some racist exchanges with a Native American, and he gets up from his poker table. The Native American gets up and he's like, "You know what Comanche means?" And you can tell this guy's like rough. He means business. And this brother's crazy. Like I'm sitting there watching him going, "Does he shoot this guy?" So he walks up straight to the Comanche, and he's like, "It means everyone's my enemy." Like the Comanche says it to him, like okay, we're about to fight. And then he goes, "You know what that makes you?" And then the brother sits there, and you're expecting him to say, "My enemy," and he just goes, "Makes me Comanche too." And you're like, oh, and like, but what like. I guess he was just saying like
there wasn't a ton to
honestly,
that
was
than,
the one part of the movie that exchange. I was like, I'm not sure what's going on here. I honestly think that part of the movie existed so that he could have that ending scene, so that because the audience doesn't know about that. Presumably, most people in the audience don't know that.
Well,
was
it's
meant to be.
definitely it's revealing how he feels because he's clearly not a
Sure, it's
Comanche.
revealing some of his character.
He doesn't have a history of like my people were off this land.
I think the reason partially why that scene was put in there is just to build the concept of the guy being kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like he was just doing that almost for fun. He went and basically not stole the money from his brother, but he basically took a bunch of money and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go play poker with our money that we just stole for the fun." And while he was there, he was, ruffling some feathers and things like that. Like he's always constantly in trouble and doing the things that a bad person would do for the fun of it. There's never really any like
Just rebellious by
deep,
nature.
Yeah, I don't think there's any deeper meaning behind that scene other than he just enjoys this. He enjoys the chaos.
He's just an asshole.
Right.
Well, which is funny because who you would call the main character of the movie, which in reality, if you were to back up a little bit, I'm not sure. I think you could argue that Jeff Bridges is the main character of the movie, but but the main.
I think you have deuteragonists here. You have the Jeff Bridges is the main character on the cop side, and Chris Pine is the main character on the crim side.
And Chris Pine, though,
very little dialogue. By the way.
Well, there's very little dialogue between a lot of them. To be honest,
True.
And which is powerful. I think when we get later.
That's one of the things we'll get into. But
but like I don't know if he developed a ton for me. Like I think the only thing that he did was slowly reveal maybe his motives to the audience.
He revealed his motives and also revealed that, again, he's not as noble as he claims he is. Like, he is, but he also isn't.
Like, he's clearly a bad dad, and he recognizes it. He does have a cool exchange with his son, although he gives his son the beer, but his son points it out. He's like, "You're telling me to not be like you, and you hand me a beer? Like, what are you doing?" And he's like, "You gonna drink that?" And he's like, "No, I'm not gonna drink beer." And he just kind of nods his head, like, and so you're kind of sitting there like, maybe he is trying to be a good dad, and he was happy that his son didn't take the beer. And
I think it's also that he doesn't know how to be a good dad.
Yeah,
I think that's also what it is.
And I mean, it's clear like that their dad was abusive, and that their mom was not helpful in that situation. Like their dad abused them, the brothers, to the point where the crazy brother shot him.
Yeah.
Right.
And the mom hated them for that.
Right.
Like it was on the side of the abusive dad. So clearly they did not have a good relationship with their mom either.
Right. And you can I mean I think that nobody watching is upset at the fact that at least Chris Pine is where he's at. Nobody's like, "Oh, how could you do?" Like you can tell the movie lets you in on the fact that he's had a really rough childhood, but that he was the one trying to stay with mom just because he kind of felt like it was the right thing to do, but he's also been a bad dad. He's not with his wife anymore, and he's doing these things, and he's constantly like, he's the one that looks nervous out of the two of them. His brother's nuts, and he's constantly telling him, "No, let's do a smaller one. Let's do it where there's nobody there. We can't be." And at this one point, his brother shoots to the people at one of the bank robberies. Well, he shoots at one. He doesn't kill the guy though. He never kills anybody.
Didn't he shoot the security guard?
No, he freaks out because the security guard shoots at him, and he kind of closes his eyes and shoots and runs behind the corner, and the security guard gets up, and then the brother puts the gun right to his head and blows his head.
No. Brother puts the gun to the head of the civilian.
Yeah. I think he does.
I'm pretty sure Chris Pine kills the security guard.
No, Chris Pine did not kill the security guard. At the end, he says it. He's like, "I've never killed anybody in a day of my life, but I'll kill you if you stay on my property." Yeah, it wasn't Chris Pine. It was the brother shot the security guard.
I'd have to rewatch the scene because I could have sworn it was Chris Pine.
I thought so too.
The first time he shoots the gun, and that's why I thought the movie did a good job. He looks like he was like running away from the gun while it was shooting. He like ran around the corner shooting the gun, and then he runs around the corner, and then that guy was shooting the gun at him. The brother comes and shoots, and we can fact check that.
I'll fact check it later.
So he is clearly like, that wasn't supposed to happen. You weren't supposed to kill anybody. And then the brother's like, "Oh, it was us with them." Like clearly he doesn't care at all. But I guess my whole point bringing up Chris Pine, because we talked about the 4 different characters, is it didn't necessarily seem like he had a whole lot of development. Rather, he just kind of slowly let the audience know what he was doing. At first, you're like, okay, why is he doing this? And then slowly you realize why, and at the end it culminates with actually seeing the product of the fact that he did get this money, he got the land. He's like, "All I want is the land so that my kids," and then he's like, "I don't even live here." So he got the money, he gave it back to the bank, essentially, that he stole it from, to get his land back from the bank, who kind of took it unrightfully. And we'll talk about this in messaging, because there's definitely a huge messaging on.
Oh, did you think it was subtle the third or fourth time they showed the debt billboard?
Yeah, like, there was definitely a lot about how nasty the banks were. So he gives the money back to the bank that he stole from them to get his house back that they kind of stole from him. So you're like, okay, that's fine. And then he gives that land. Well, his mom did, but like he wants to get to see this land given to his two sons, who can now reap the benefit of all the oil that's on the land. So you kind of see his plan come to fruition. But as far as his development throughout the movie, there's no big great revelations for him throughout the movie or anything.
Yeah, there's no change in his character, but it's the constant like reiterating of how crazy his life was growing up, and all the reasons why he's doing it. It's not so much that he's changing; it's just that he's revealing
his motivations become unfolded as you go on.
That's
through the movie.
that's the thing. So, which brings me to my next thing, which, in my opinion, probably the reason why I love this movie so much is the cinematography and the score.
Yeah.
The music was so good. It was perfect for what it was. Western, but still modern.
Yep.
Yeah, it definitely played into the Western, like general Western motifs, the kind of long, somber horns
Bluesy.
and strings.
Yep.
Kind of.
And one of my favorite artists right now, Coulter Wall.
Yep.
And it was just
Coulter Wahlberg.
Coulter Wall. No, Coulter Wall was
out here in the Western.
Mark can't be stopped.
and Marky Mark. He that whole score from beginning to end was so good, and then to top it all off, like you guys were saying in the beginning, it looked like West Texas.
Yeah.
I've been to West Texas. I've been to Oklahoma. I've been to all these places, and it looks just like that.
It felt like from the opening scene, which is this really cool, super long car is circling. It's
good.
Circling the bank, and it's following where the car is, even though the car goes behind buildings, and so the camera's just moving. And then when the car comes back behind a building, you see it again, and it keeps moving, and you see this woman walking up to the front, and then she opens the door right as the car pulls. Really cool shot, but instantly it just feels like middle of nowhere, rundown, poverty-stricken, like West Texas.
Yep.
All crappy cars everywhere, dust everywhere.
Yep.
And the music for sure helps that. But I thought there were so many really cool, like, scenes as far as just the way it looked. Like him and his brothers posted it up on a fence, and he's sitting in the back of a pickup truck. But you're out in this gigantic, just limitless looking field and plain of just like, some rolling grass hills, but also a lot of dirt, and then super big, mountains way off in the background. And there's this metal, I don't know what you call that. It's like it's
windmill
a windmill
kind of thing,
like just kind of twirling. Like the cinematography was phenomenal. Like in my opinion, like one of the coolest shot movies I've seen in a while. Granted, I know this is old, but I thought I thought it was
that was
the
one of
chart.
my biggest things about it. I think that's the reason why I loved the movie so much, was the cinematography and the score, but also how they filmed certain scenes, allowing the viewer to breathe. That was one of the biggest things that I took away from it. There were times in there where it felt like the actors were they would say a sentence, say another sentence, and let you take it all in. And it was just so, I thought it was phenomenal.
The pacing was very good. Obviously, you have the moments of high intensity action, the bank heists, but then there are a lot of moments like at the restaurant when they're relaxing and talking. And it gives you downtime. I liked a lot of the static shots, like the first time they buried the car. It's just this like big zoom. I like the big zoomed out shots.
Yeah.
Where you just get to kind of watch the action happen.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree. And that was, again, I keep going back to it. The differences between the shots being some that were up close, but then some with the extreme wide angles. Just allowing the viewer to just take it all in as to what you're viewing is so vast. And that's what that area is. It is so vast.
Yeah.
You just see forever.
Yeah.
And it's wild. And it reminds me of when I was there. It reminds me of when I've gone to these places, and they did such a good job. And weirdly enough, the tone, the color tones of the movie were so good. It was like almost sepia, but not like.
Well, and just that, like,
very warm earth tones, pretty much everywhere.
I would even stress like the people and like the way they were dressed and the way that they were. I mean, sweating out in they just looked like they all just felt so authentic, and the look was just so there.
If we want to talk about letting the audience breathe and injecting some levity without derailing a serious tone. When they go to the T-Bone Cafe.
Oh, dude, what a
And the
scene.
waitress is like, "What do you not want?" And they're like, "What the hell is she talking about?"
Dude, that scene was when I was
So
trying to think of
good.
it earlier.
So
like
good.
that was the scene that I was trying to think of.
It's like
we were cracking up.
It was so
in
good.
that scene. Like so they go to this T-bone steak bar, whatever, it's T-bone
Cafe.
steak cafe, and she goes, "What don't you want?" And they're both sitting there, and Jeff Bridges, who, mind you, I just have to sing his praises a little bit more. He was that. I mean, he just
So good.
He was even to the point where the end where he like takes his cowboy off and,
like,
puts
throws
it
it
on
on
his
his
on his
on his
boot,
boot.
and I'm like, he was just, and he just, well, what do you mean? What don't you want? What don't you want? And he's like, well, what do I want? And she explains. She's like, listen, people come in here, and she's like cranky, and she's like, we serve one thing: T-bone steaks
And a potato.
and a potato,
And you get iced tea.
and you get iced tea. And she's like, the only choice you got to make is whether you don't want green beans or you don't want corn. So what don't you want? And then you can see they're both like scared by the end. And he's like, well, I don't want green beans. He's like, I don't want green beans either.
Like, I want iced tea. Iced tea is good. Iced
He's
tea
like,
is great.
he's like, and you're gonna get iced tea. He's like, iced tea sounds fine.
And he's like, the steak, can I get it, medium rare, whatever? Medium rare.
No. She says you get 2 steaks, medium rare. He says, "Can I get mine more well done?" She says, "No." Like,
That wasn't a question.
No, that wasn't a question. Oh man, there was a lot of yes, and that's a great point because well, think about it. I honestly don't know if I laughed hard. I don't know if I laughed ever at Four Brothers, even though I could
There are a couple
maybe
funny moments.
appreciate some of the humor. I still didn't laugh.
Right.
Whereas I laughed quite a few times
Yes.
watching, and you would consider it a much more serious movie.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the thing is, like, technically, if you remove that scene, you're not changing the plot. But there's so
But it
much
adds.
flavor that gets injected. Like both Alberto and what's his actual name?
I just keep calling him
Bridges.
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah,
I'll look it up.
Alberto and Jeff's
Sheriff something.
Sheriff something.
Hamilton.
Alberto and Hamilton's like their relationship. The fact that Hamilton the whole time has been kind of like, I've been around for forever. I've seen everything, and even he's like taken aback by how aggressive this waitress is. And then like at the end, they're like, "Well, ain't no one gonna rob this place."
That part was hilarious. That was the part where his sidekick actually did start cracking up because he's like, okay, that was funny. But yeah, no, cinematography,
Yeah.
phenomenal.
I think that's the biggest thing. In my personal opinion, that was
Yeah.
the best takeaway from it.
I think I might agree with you.
The cinematography, the score,
cinematography was excellent.
and
Yeah.
the ability to let the viewer breathe.
Yeah,
How the
was
pacing was
excellent, and it's refreshing too because like obviously we watched all the Transformers movies, which are just like taking they're taking a glow stick and just bashing around the face with it forever and ever, and then there are movies that are like a little too slow,
Sure.
where you're like,
I mean,
why is this scene still going on?
Brutalist-
Friendship springs
the
to mind. Why the scene has gone on too long, and we need to move on.
Yeah.
And this was pretty much perfect. It had the perfect ups and downs, like fast, and then it let you breathe, and then it fast, and then it let you breathe, and then it was fast, and then it let you breathe, and it let you chew on things like something important happened,
Yep.
and it gave you time to chew on that before the next important thing happened.
That's how the scene, in my opinion, one of my favorite scenes in that whole movie was the scene which you already explained, where they have the 2 cars and the brother turns the first car around to go take the cops off into the distance to let Pine go and do whatever he needs to do, and that dialogue between the two is slow.
Yep.
If you go back and watch it, it is incredibly slow, and the way he says "love you," mean it.
yeah.
And then Pine comes back with, "Don't do anything stupid," knowing that he's gonna go do something
Yeah.
stupid. Like it was just such a well done scene. All of the pause, that whole scene probably took
Yeah.
4 or 5 minutes when it could have only taken 30 seconds.
And to your point, it builds gravity. Like
so
to have
much.
it puts weight to what's happening because you let the characters, you let the audience, and you have to have good acting to do this.
Yeah.
But you let them feel what the character's feeling, and that in reality, if your brother was saying, "Hey, by the way, I'm gonna go die," that you'd sit there and you'd go, "I don't know really how I'm supposed to feel right now." That would be the response. Would be,
Yep.
okay. I love you. And it's just kind of like, you can tell that you're like, oh, I'm actually watching this happen. And also as the audience member, you're not sure what's going to happen yet. But slowly as you see them wait and realize, then you start to realize, and you're like, that's such a good job by a movie.
They
to
didn't
not
need
to
to
be
explain
like,
it.
Yeah, they're like, you're going to know what's happening here based
Right.
on these characters' interaction.
Exactly.
He's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I love you, brother. Mean it. And he's like, yeah, I love you too. And you're like, oh, he's about to go. He's about to he's about to. So like,
And
it's just amazing. Yeah.
The acceptance by both brothers to do it. It was a masterclass scene.
Yeah,
Absolute
it was a really
masterclass.
great scene.
And the way that when he says I love you and mean it, he turns away from the brother. He's talking to him at first, and he's like, I love you, mean it. And he can't look. He can't even look at his brother when he says it because he knows what he's about to do.
Yeah, it's really well done. Really well done.
So, all right, the next thing is, did the message work?
Message or the story,
Or
right?
the story.
Plot.
Yeah, the story or the
I
message.
I think the story works very well.
Yeah.
I think it's a great story. I especially love the ending
Mm-hmm.
where Jeff Bridges confronts Chris
agree.
Pine.
I agree.
Jeff Bridges confronts Chris Pine, and they're moving towards a shootout, and he's like, I shot your brother shot my partner. I just want to know why you did it. I understand why he did it, but I want to know why you did it. And Chris Pine gives him the whole spiel like, this is for my sons. I grew up poor. My parents grew up poor. Their parents grew up poor. It's a cycle. It's a disease. I broke them out of it. I did what I had to do to break them out of it. And Jeff Bridges makes a very good point. Alberto had a big family. They don't have any oil rigs. And as much as noble as Chris Pine's intentions are, he doesn't say, well, maybe I can send some money their way. No, he doesn't care about. He only cares about his sons. And so they're like about to get in the shootout when the sons and the ex-wife show up, and so they're like leaving.
Oh, another
And Chris Pine says,
Phenomenal.
"I live in this small house somewhere."
He's like, if you want to,
we can finish
continue
that
this conversation.
I figure we can finish this conversation. Maybe I can give you peace. And Jeff Bridges says, or maybe I can give you some. And then it goes to credits. And I was like, that is a
it's so
perfect ending.
That is so
right there.
cool.
It's so good.
And
Good.
to your point, it's so Western. Like it felt like the way a Western would end, where it's like,
And I literally in my head, as he says that and the credits start rolling, I'm like, wah, wah, wah.
well, and this kind of ties in a lot of what we were both saying, but that scene, that whole time that they're talking, because you man, genius movie. They show Jeff Bridges putting a gun like in his shirt, like not normally in a holster or anywhere else. He's like, I'm hiding away this pistol. He walks up. Chris Pine has a rifle pointed at, not even pointing at him, but he's holding a rifle, and he's like, hey, you can come here. He sits down super casually, and the conversation at first is like, and you're like, oh, maybe
I
he's
do love the way he just sits down, crosses his leg, and just goes, whoop, throws his hat right on his boot.
Oh,
it's
dude.
Just like, that is so Texas.
And,
gosh.
And then the whole time, dude offers him a beer.
Yeah.
In the middle of this, like,
Shinerbach, good Texas beer.
Shinerbach.
very tense conversation.
Well,
you want a beer?
Well, the thing is, you don't know where it's going as the audience, because you're like, oh, maybe Jeff Bridges is going to be cool, calm, and just like, well, how'd you do it? And maybe he's going to go the route of being like, your brother was crazy, but we killed him. And then you slowly realize that he's not. He's upset still. He's just like, yeah, you're still a part of that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you can tell, like the conversation is slowly ramping up, and they're just both sitting there looking, and you're going, I know he's got a gun. And he's just got his arms crossed. And then Chris Pine mentions it. He's like, you're going to reach for that pistol because I'm going to blow your head off before you do. And I'm sitting there watching, and I'm going, I don't think he's going to shoot him right now, but he could. This movie's wild. And they're both just staring at each other, and then car pulls up. And I'm like,
So good.
It was phenomenal. Like that last scene.
And it was and the car coming up is a great way to like ease the tension because he's not going to do it in front of his now ex-wife and kids.
And I think it's perfect in the sense that like
Jeff Bridges isn't either.
And it allowed us to still have the ending we wanted that Nathanael pointed out, where you still have Jeff Bridges rightfully being upset that his partner's gone.
Yep.
And you still have Chris Pine saying, I'm going to do anything for my kids now, even if it means getting my hands a little dirty.
Can we take a moment and give applause to whoever it was that put all of the guts in the back of that hat?
Oh my gosh, the amount of guts.
That was incredible. Like the whole movie is, I mean, yeah, it's gritty, it's gross, people are sweating, but there was no guts and blood and this and that. And then that scene comes around, and like half of his brains are inside of his hat that's sitting on the ground, and it's like, well,
I think it definitely aided in the shock value of the fact that you were like, because they don't even. He's on the phone and he's like, "Well, we're out here," and it's like ding ding ding, and it like hits his partner. He's like, "And we're out here." And he turns and looks, and his partner's just laying there. It was just one shot, dead. There was no crying. There was no screaming, "Bobby!" It was just he was gone, and you see some blood around his head, and he's like, "Whoa!" And you can Jeff Bridges' response is like he's so calm and goofy the whole time, and instantly you can see a sense of panic on his face. And he's like, this wasn't supposed to happen. And he takes the hat off, and I think it was supposed to be like, he's dead. He's dead. Like they take the hat off, and it's like, it's all. And he's like, and he's backing up, and you can just, from that point on, he was like,
and
locked in.
And also when he gets in the van with the one guy, and he has him like, the guy's like, it's a 500-yard shot, and he makes the shot.
Yeah, which was
and then
awesome.
he like turns, he's like, ha ha, and then he's laughing, but he's like, he laughs and he cries like, that's such a good.
He starts to
damn,
cry.
That's some serious acting.
It's
so
like,
good.
I'm telling
so
you, Jeff
good.
Bridges in that movie it's one of the best acting performances I've seen in a very long time. As far as like,
Shame it was 9 years ago, so they can't be like, oh, Hollywood's back, baby. No,
the range that he had to do, like
amazing.
one was incredible, but also just he was that character. I mean, he talked with the accent the whole time, the way he walked, the way he held his face with his mustache. And we're doing out here, like it was just he just was that character.
So good.
Such a good.
But the story was, it did a lot of things that we've already mentioned really well, as far as like giving giving enough time for the characters to show and not tell, have interactions with each other that they would normally have, to where the audience is like, okay, I'm not in a movie where there's a cop going, and this is brother number 1, and this is brother number 2, and this is brother number 3. Let me tell you what's going on, and you're like, I'm in a movie.
That's true. There's no explanation. It's all inferred and really well done and told in a way that's not telling you.
Yeah, shown, not told.
Shown, not told.
Told, not told. That's the hard part about writing. It's really hard to do that.
Yep. Well, in a book, you have to tell.
Well, that's
true and real. I wouldn't know. You can show too. The ones that I read.
Picture books that show me everything. All it says is C spot. C spot run. Get it. The pictures tell me pictures worth 1,000 words. So it was funny because I was thinking about the movie, and it is like, if you think about the actual like 50,000 foot view, it is actually like a really, really generic plot.
Sure.
It's family, and it's usually brothers.
Yeah.
Have a money problem, so that it's almost like Place Beyond the Pines.
Yeah.
Go start robbing banks or some other crime thing.
Oh yeah.
Right. And there's like, and sometimes usually those leading to the crime doesn't pay. But sometimes it's like, no, the bank was wrong and the corporations were wrong. Blah, 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 blah. This one's a little more even-handed. But I think, based on what I think you're supposed to think that Chris Pine and the other guy were in the wrong. Like, should not have done that, especially because of the way when Jeff Bridges confronts him, is like, Alberto's family.
Yep.
They don't have they don't have a dad anymore, and they don't have oil rigs to take care of him. So like, great, you took care of your sons. Now they're screwed. At what cost? Yeah. And it's funny because I watch all these movies and I'm like, if one of my brothers, who I love to death, and I would absolutely take a bullet for, were like, we need to go rob a bank, I'd be like, do we though? I mean, do we though? Like, surely there's another way to raise $40,000. Like, the internet exists. You can be like, greedy corporation, like just tap like the r/socials and be like, guys, we need to raise money because these damn guys are gonna these damn fat cats are gonna and you raise like $10 because they don't have jobs. I mean, I got them. But like, it always like. I appreciate like the only way they can show family members love each other is that I'll do anything you want me to do. Like, if my family members asked me to go commit a heinous crime with them, or even any crime, I'd be like, first of all, why are we doing this? And feel like I have to do it to raise money for this and the other. I'm like, surely there are other options. We don't have any other options. Like, I can't rob a bank. I can't shoot a person. I can't go kill a person for you. I can't do that. Sure. And it's not fair for you to ask that of me. Mm-hmm. Like, let's go I'll do whatever I can within the law.
Right. Well, and I think what this movie does well, which you mentioned, the first thing you said, is that, see, we could understand that a person could make that bad decision.
Yes.
Right? That Chris Pine, because of his background, and they do a great job, that character could make those decisions. However, a lot of movies would end the movie just without that exposition at the very end with Bridges, and we would be left here to have that conversation ourselves and going, hey, what about that guy's family? Hey, what about so and so? But instead, the movie did the work to say, hey, don't forget that yes, it's great that he got his kids that land. But let's make no mistake here. He's a criminal, and his actions got this guy killed.
He's a criminal, accessory to murder, and responsible for this person's family growing up without a father.
Yes,
and the security guard and the other guy as well.
And what was it that he said right before Jeff Bridges said? He said something like, "Over time, I'm hoping to forget it," or something. And he goes, "No, it'll haunt you.
No,
forever.
it'll haunt you forever." Yeah.
What did he? I mean, it was something along the lines of, "Hopefully, I'll forget it soon," or something. But he made some response that was, I guess, kind of cavalier of just like, well, like
I'm going to move past it.
Yeah, we'll move past it. And he's like, no, it'll haunt you forever. And you could tell it kind of affected Chris Pine. He was just like, shoot, like and I think that was like, I think you can in the right mind like sympathize with Chris Pine and go, I like you as a character. You made the wrong decisions. But like I think you even realize that you made the wrong decisions. I don't think that you thought that you were going to get people killed, but now you're here, and he's like, "What else can I do?" But you could tell he's sitting there, and he's like, "Shoot, like I never wanted people to die." He says it out loud.
Yeah.
That he's like, I didn't want anybody to die. Granted, you like to your point, you're a moron. Then why are you robbing banks, you idiot?
With guns.
Yes, it like you stupid. Like you've got to live with those consequences. But you can tell it's not what he wanted to happen. Regardless, though. He did it, and so it was still powerful to get Jeff Bridges to get in there at the end and say, "Hey, no, like."
Yeah, so I would say this is a superlative example of the family commits crimes for ostensibly noble purposes. Genre, which is a fairly large genre.
Yeah,
it's kind of beaten to death, to be fair.
Yeah, but I think, but this one was done
of it.
so well. I at no point I was like, boy, this plot's derivative.
Well,
it was because again, like you can't really come up with new plots, but you can do them really well, and this one did it really well. Like the whole thing was just incredibly well done.
And I think ad nauseum, to both your points, you get a lot of those movies that are this with a whole bunch of political, nonsense shoved in there to justify everything they do. So it's now we can go and rob all these places and hurt these people and kill these people because I was hurt. And they're like, who's going to, like, they've got to get theirs. And you're like, what?
There was a tiny little bit of that when it came to the locals. The locals were like, well, I'm not going to help the cops out because this bank keeps screwing with me too and what they're doing. It's like there was a tiny bit. They didn't shove it down your throat.
Well, let's transition to that. Let's transition.
There was a couple.
Let's transition to what do we think the message of, like, what do you think they wanted you to take away?
So honestly, it felt less like they're pushing a message hard, and then they could, I think there was a little aspect of that, and Alberto's little spiel, I think played into that. But it was a light hand. I think it was more like, hey, this is just the reality of what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and not pulling down on either side, just showing like this is how people feel about this.
Right.
Well, and where I thought that it differed from what you were talking about, Marco, not in the Alberto sense, but in all the people kind of just complaining about, big bank, they deserve whatever's coming to them kind of thought. It felt less like the movie was telling me that that's true and more like the individuals in that area were saying it. And I can believe that. Like, I could believe that those people in West Texas would be saying those things.
Right. That's what I mean when it felt less like the movie pushing a specific message and more like this is just the reality of this area at this time.
Exactly. And that's what I mean by it was kind of just done just a little bit. Like just enough to say, well, okay, that kind of checks out.
I think there were two moments, and they were supposed to. And again, it's hard to say whether this was the movie, the intention of the movie to be like, hey, this is a bad thing, because it didn't feel like they were necessarily passing judgment on it. Obviously, everyone was like, yeah, the bank was doing shady shit. Mm-hmm. And you're not supposed to think, well, the bank was in the right to do whatever they did. No, they clearly weren't.
It was a nasty thing for the bank to do.
The bank is clearly in the wrong in whatever they did in regards to the property. But there's like two moments. One is when Alberto actually talks about, my people had this land and then they got taken from them, and then now the bank has taken it from them. And basically, it's ironic that the people who took my land had their land taken from them, except it wasn't in a war. It was just this bank.
And I think it's less like there's not
it doesn't
really
seem
a
heavy-handed.
story behind it or anything
light.
like that. I think the only reason why they really put those little tidbits in there is just to build the original reason why the brothers were robbing these banks.
Yes.
It wasn't about the message of these banks are bad, these banks are bad. No, it was more like We're just explaining the movie as to the why they're going and robbing this particular branch.
And that it all checks out within the world they're creating.
Correct.
Like
Yeah.
you would hear all that, view the world, and go, this does seem like something that could happen.
Right.
Yeah, and it feels like they were, again, because it's set in West Texas, and, you know, if you're not super familiar with West Texas, like, it might seem like a theme park to you, right? Like, oh, is stuff really like that? And the point that I thought was like, this is clearly they're doing world building here was when the sheriff and Alberto are riding the truck and they come across the fire and a bunch of cows crossing, and they're talking to the cowboy, and he's like, 21st century, and I still got to run the cows down to the river. Just shakes his head and drives off. And it's like, the reality is we're still kind of forced to live in a relatively backwards way out here, just because that's how things are.
Yeah. No, I thought that the messaging was actually great because of all the things we just talked about. Whereas the movie doesn't feel at all like it's saying, and therefore banks are evil and they're all bad. It doesn't feel like it's saying, and therefore go rob a bank. And it doesn't feel like it's saying, that. I don't know. It felt like the message was very much. Like it was. If anything, it didn't feel like it needed to share too much of a message.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there.
Refreshing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
I
not
agree with you
battering
there.
me over the head with.
Yeah.
I never felt like, I'm being smacked in the face with a Reddit post.
Yeah. So here,
A
okay.
poorly written Reddit post.
So synopsis.
But I repeat myself. Got it.
Right. So synopsis. Can we all give, before we do the ratings with Rotten Tomatoes,
Give our
let's
own
all
ratings?
give our own ratings this time.
Okay. So Marko, why don't you start off?
Yeah.
I am going to give it.
Set the bar.
I'm giving it an 85.
Oh,
85.
I was thinking 85 as well.
Okay.
I was gonna be right around. I don't want to just say 85 because you guys are saying it.
I mean, if that feels the right score,
I was between
that's the right score.
3 and 87, which would have been 85.
Which would be 85. There you go.
I'm gonna say.
We all agree.
I'm gonna say
This is
85.
like the
I'll say
first time
85.
we've ever
I'll say
all
85.
agreed on a
I'll say
rating.
85.
That could be.
That's
The-
pretty
could be.
impressive.
I
only
think 85
reason
is the right.
Really, the only reason I bring it down is because just me personally, I put more weight in because you said it where you were like, the actual idea isn't necessarily creative. And those are my favorite movies ever. The idea is creative. Even if the execution sometimes is poor, I'll still give it a little leeway. If the idea was like, I've never thought, that's just why a movie like Inception is ranked so high for me, because I'm like, not only were all the other boxes checked, right? Cinematography, score, acting, all that stuff is great. But the actual idea, there's possible that nobody else could have thought of an idea like this.
Right.
And you did. Whereas we've had a whole bunch of these. Now, however...
It's just the Matrix over and over again.
However, with this said, being a simply thought up story, the execution, in my opinion, was so flawless that I'm like, I don't know if I can really take off many points for anything other than the fact that I think that the story is relatively simple.
Yeah.
But yeah, 85.
85 for you, 85 for me,
85 for me.
for
And
me.
unlike Greg, who's always looking for something new, I think, again, it's to Greg's point, it's about the execution. Again, I think even Inception, like if you the concept of dreams and dreams, the way they do it might be novel, but the idea of like going in through multiple worlds, right? I know.
Sure.
Like technically, there's nothing new under the sun. So it's about how well do you take the existing set of ideas, which there are a lot of. So it's not like there's like, oh, there are 3 movies and you got to make one of those 3 movies.
Although sometimes it feels like that.
There are tons of ideas, and you mix and match them, and you create. And it's about how do you put these things together? How are the characters? That's why characters are so important.
Yeah.
Because like plot wise, it's nothing new. And I think especially when it comes to crime stuff, there's literally nothing new you can do.
Yeah.
When it comes to sci-fi, that's where you can do new things. Because you can go like or fantasy as well. You can go to things that don't exist.
Right.
But when it comes to crime stuff or stuff that's grounded in actual reality, you're not going to come up with anything new. So you just got to make something that's compelling through the characters. And they did a phenomenal job with that.
They did a great job of that.
Phenomenal.
And the acting was like top notch. I think if that isn't acted as well as it is,
It's a flop.
it doesn't work.
It's a flop hard.
Yeah. But,
Okay. All right. So now let's get into the Rotten Tomatoes.
all right.
So we're going to do it one by one this time. You're going to give me the rating of the critic score first.
Okay.
Just the critic score.
Just a critic score. I think this has got to be
I have it in my
critically
head.
acclaimed.
I got it in my head.
Okay, let me think real quick. Okay, I've got mine.
Okay. I think it's a 90.
I was gonna say 87.
Wow. Not even close.
No, it's low.
Well, not even close. It's still within the range of 10.
Okay.
97.
97.
You know what?
97.
I can see that.
Wow.
I can see that.
Incredible.
As I say 90, I was like, I should probably go 95.
Yeah.
Man.
97.
It really was. I'm glad the
closest
critics
without
gave it
going
that
over.
because like I just said though, as far as execution, I don't know what I would take off. It was phenomenally well done. I mean, amazing movie.
No, I
well
agree,
deserved.
100%.
97 is up there. Holy crap.
It's way up
That's
there. Way up
That
there.
is
I don't know if I'd
way
give it
up
well, I
there.
give it an 85. But I mean
97 means there's
Yeah.
virtually nothing
So
wrong with it.
97, if you really want to get down to the technical, how they rate this or whatever, it's the percentage of approved tomato meter critics who have given this movie a positive review.
right.
That's
so
how that works.
97% of people who watched it liked it.
Yes.
Correct.
So it's a little
It's
not
a
quite
little skewed.
grade.
Yeah, it's not like somebody on
So
average gave it
could have been that
97%.
97 out of 100 people gave it a 51.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. So it is
It's a little bit
different.
skewed like that, so you have to think about it that way.
Right.
So, all right, so now the audience score, which if you want me to get
Yeah,
technical,
give me the details of
the
that.
percentage of users who rated this 3.5 stars or higher.
Okay, so the user review is actually more of a rating scale, whereas the critic review is just did they give it 2.5 or more, like thumbs up or thumbs down. That's so
Which is a little
bonkers.
bit bizarre. So I would say that the the audience, I would say it's a little lower than
I'm going
the
to say
critics.
I think it's probably lower as well.
83.
I'm going to go 90 again.
Wow, you're close. 88.
88. Okay.
88. And honestly, rightfully so.
Yeah, so that's right. We said 85.
85.
We were,
Yep.
we were right
I think
around
it's-
85,
it's-
88.
yeah.
So I think that's
That's
fair
within
too.
one standard deviation. So we're
Yeah.
in the
Yes.
bell. They're in our bell curve.
Yes.
Wow.
Which means they actually did something right this time. Good job.
All right.
Good job, audience.
All right. Last but not least,
The 5.
Give it to me.
the 5.
I don't know if I can get as good as Nathaniel. Nathaniel was literally,
nailed it.
I think,
I
if
don't think I
we
could've done
asked
better.
ChatGPT
I
to
don't think I
rank
could've
those
done
5
better.
things, you like.
Yeah. No, I think it would have been.
Great. I'm gonna end up
friggin'
screwing
on
something.
point.
Certainly, if you ask Liam, because he's Catholic, so Mary has
Okay.
to come first.
There
So-
you go. Although other
Mother Teresa? I don't think you can. I
He
think you
would've
get excommunicated
thrown-
if you put Mother Teresa above Mary.
True, but he would have thrown her up at 1 as a Catholic instantly.
Oh,
you-
for
you-
sure.
but
For
then he
sure.
would have been
I'm
screwed.
saying if he
and
just
then
ranked
jokes
the
on him.
5. If he just ranked the 5.
Yeah. All right.
All right, what is it?
The category, because of the movie, is famous duos.
Okay.
Hey, okay.
Any duo.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to. I'm going to write down my answers. I'm going to play along.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Famous duo number 1
Okay.
in ranking order based on what you believe, not knowing what's coming next. Number 1, Mario and Luigi.
I swear, if you're like Jesus and Paul later or something stupid,
I don't think
and
they were
just gonna
famous
kick
duo.
me in the nards, like Mario and Luigi, man. It's a me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 2.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 2 just because I feel like there's one, and I don't want to say it out loud. There's one that I would just put up to S tier. So, but I'm gonna say 2 for Mario and Luigi.
Mark Wahlberg and the Funk Bunch.
I'm gonna say 2.
Okay. Number 2 for Mario and Luigi. The second duo that you're going to be ranking is Bonnie and Clyde.
Lame villains. Don't like them. I don't like it. I'm gonna
don't
say
like
5 for Bonnie and Clyde.
Ooh, bottom of the barrel.
When I
huh?
think duos, there are
Next, you're going to get shit and piss.
There,
Like, oh,
there
should've
are
put
a
that at the bottom.
ton,
Yes.
and I know it's risky taking the bottom rung, but I'm gonna go ahead and say
Okay.
I like them less than all the other ones I can think of.
All right. All right. The next one on the list. So you have 2 and 5 taken up. The next one on the list, Batman and Robin.
There we go. See, and this is.
Is he going to do it?
Oh man,
Is he going to do it?
There's only one duo in my mind that could top Batman and Robin, and
It's Nathaniel and Greg.
will you say it? If you say it, I'm gonna be so sad. I'm gonna say Batman
much
and
in your head.
Robin 1.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna say 1.
Okay.
All right.
So 1, 2, and 5
And
are
5.
taken.
Okay.
You have your 3 and your 4 spot. Your next item, your next duo, Tom and Jerry.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, we're fine with Tom and Jerry. I'm going to put Tom and Jerry as 4.
All right.
Yep, Tom and
Okay.
Jerry is 4.
And the final. From the Flintstones, Fred and Barney.
Okay, there we go. 3. I'm happy with that.
Honestly, not bad.
I literally think that is exactly how I
I'm
would rank
so
it.
curious.
So the only difference I have is I have Bonnie and Clyde 4, and so Fred and Barney ended up as 5, Tom and Jerry
Okay.
3. But
How-
honestly,
if
those
you-
bottom 3, I could flip those in any order.
I probably could flip the
I
bottom
could also
3.
flip the top 2.
Well, it's true, but I think I would give a slight edge to Batman and Robin. Although I wouldn't be mad if somebody said Mario Luigi.
Like you.
and
Who was your
American.
your duo that
Yeah,
you
I
were
was
thinking?
thinking you were going to say Frodo and Sam, to which I'm like,
that would have been
that would've been
good.
number one.
Frodo and Sam to me is like there's no
That would've
better
been good.
bros on the planet. Like in my opinion, just
No, period.
written cinema. It's just
Having
the best.
listened to the books now,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
100%,
yeah,
like,
you're-
even more so.
Yeah, I'm so like that is the like we talk about movies
tier.
that we could
At triple S
when
tier.
when eventually we get to the Lord of the Rings
when would we?
on their birthday, whatever dates they came out on, when we eventually bounce around to a show that has that, we will talk, my friends, and smoke some pipe weed.
Might have to do that one as a special episode where we
Okay,
do it at
hold
your
on,
house.
Hold on, I'm not going to tell you if it does fall on our calendar yet.
Anyways, well, Nathaniel does that.
It does
I will,
not. It's not a Tuesday.
well, Nathaniel does
in
that.
2
Well,
or 3 years it will be.
yeah, I was gonna say. So next, speaking of shows we're gonna be doing, so in 2 weeks we will be convening again. The date will be the 26th of August.
Whatever
and
month we're in right
the
now.
The famous movie birthdays we will be doing are Natural Born Killers and The Brothers Grimm, which I not seen either of them, and I've never seen The Brothers Grimm. I don't know if you have.
I haven't seen either of them.
And I hear Natural Born Killers is supposed to be an excellent movie. So
I've heard that as well.
I don't really hear much about anything about Brothers Grimm. So
I've heard
see.
of it.
I've heard of it. It's true. So excited to watch those. Might be a really good one and a bad one. Might be 2 bad ones, 2 good ones. Who knows? But if you want to watch
I
along,
doubt Natural Born Killers is going to be bad. It might be one of those movies where we watch it and we're like, that was a good movie that we didn't enjoy.
I
It's
watched the
possible
trailer and it was weird looking. It was weird looking, but it was very intriguing. Like me and Marko peeked at it and I was like, oh, I want to see that.
I
but
think
also really
my
bizarre.
only knowledge of Natural Born Killers was this person I knew who got me into CSI. She was a huge CSI fan, and so she like lent me all her CSI DVDs, and she talked about. I think she told me about Natural Born Killers. If I'm thinking about the same movie,
I mean, I don't know. I've never seen him, so I couldn't tell you.
Guess we'll find
But 2 weeks, that's what we'll be watching. If you're watching along and you want to watch it, go ahead and check those 2 movies out so you can join in next time and comment along. And until then, we'll see you guys in
and
2
until
weeks.
then, if you can't watch those, do watch K-pop Demon Hunters. Bye.
Until then, we got Maki Mak
Maki Maki and the Fun Bunch.
and the 4 brothers. Give me my mom's stuff. You killed my mother. You killed my brother. You killed my whole family.
Thanks, Spider-Man.
I don't.
You and I were the same.
Bobby! 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 Dude.